Uh, yeah, thank you. Very good evening to all the viewers, and let me welcome you all in this first event of the 72nd Foundation Day of ICI. Honorable Vice President ICI, Niranjan ji, our very distinguished panel of chartered accountants who are the leader of the industry in their respective field. Shri CA Nirmal Jain, Raman ji, CA Ashish Lodha ji, Sudhir Valia ji, and Sanjay Agarwal ji. At the outset, and my council colleagues, and very good evening to all the viewers. At the outset, I welcome all the respected panel and as well as my colleagues and all the viewers in this first event of the 72nd Foundation Day of ICI. Friends, you will agree with me that the ICI has completed the 71 year of glorious journey. A journey which started with only 700 members. Today we have more than 350,000 chartered accountants. More than 40,000 chartered accountants out of that are working at the global jurisdiction. We started with a journey of only 1,700 students. Today more than 7 lakh students are aspiring chartered accountants. They joined the elite profession with a vision to fulfill their dreams. ICI is always started with only one head office at Delhi, and now we have 165 branches, more than 35 overseas chapters. Is a true catalyst of a socio-economic reform because we all belong to morally the middle class families, but to fulfill our dreams, and you can see the Raman Roy sir, Nirmal Jain sir, Sanjay Agarwal ji, everybody reached to this pinnacle of their career because of this profession only. It's a true champion of the socio-economic catalyst because with a small fees of less than 65,000 rupees, and which is in turn getting back in the stipend and the scholarship, you can get a salary package of 8 lakhs to 20 lakhs by after 3 years of rigorous training and qualification. And this champion of the women empowerment. Today you will not believe that the 40% of our 41% of our students are the female girl students, and 27% membership is from the women membership only. ICI can be also known as can be also recognized as the international gateway of career, because through the large number of mutual recognition agreements, MOUs, and even the unilateral recognition of the chartered accountants for doing the assurance services, like in Mauritius, Malaysia, and number of South African countries, you can do even the attestation services with a unilateral recognition. We all are also known as a partner in nation building because whether it is any new law or the scheme is there of the government, it is the chartered accountancy fraternity who is contributing into the success of that particular law. Recently, we witnessed the GST in that direction. And I used to say the chartered accountants are actually the financial army of the country. Why I'm saying the financial army? Because we benchmark the international disclosure standards and the reporting standards which protect the common man while he is investing in a company. And at the same time, the chartered accountants are catalysts for the growth trajectory of the various organizations. If they want to go for a listing at the international level, apart from the local level, it is all the disclosure standards being created by the ICI and benchmarked. So this is all the journey of the 71 years. I can speak, I can go and go on, but there will be a separate session wherein we will be addressing each one of you. And the right time is that we invite our distinguished panel who will be speaking and addressing you. Friends, today we have with us the various luminaries of the profession. All are chartered accountants. I start with Ashish Lodha ji, who is the 1979 born young, I will say the chartered accountant, co-founder of the Indra IVF, who received the many awards. He started his career with the Edelweiss, but now we have the heading the more than 1600 plus team, wherein more than 30 are the chartered accountants. Then we have with us Honorable Nirmal Jain ji, the CA Nirmal Jain ji, who is the founder and chairman of the India Infoline. He is the first generation entrepreneur, IIM CA cost accountant, and he received the CA Entrepreneur Leadership Award from ICI in 2018. The IIFL today have the presence in the 8 countries, and you will be surprised to know that Nirmal Jain started with a social project as well, Sakhiyo Ki Badi, that is in relation to the girl childs in Rajasthan. Then we have the Raman Roy ji, who is known as the father of the Indian BPO industry. He's the past chairman of the executive committee of the NASCOM. He established the Quatrro after a long journey of the BPO industry in 2007. And he also the board member of the various companies, including the Indian Angel Network. We have with us Sanjay Agarwal ji, who is the MD and CEO of AU Small Bank, who is in the less than a period of 3.5 years, created the 650 banking touch points. He is a merit holder, chartered accountant, and received the many leadership awards. Sudhir Valia ji, who is the stalwart in the profession, is actually the backbone of the various organizations today we can see, and is the co-founder of this IIT and other premium industrial bodies across India. So friends, we have this kind of a illustrious panel today, and so we will be hearing all of them one by one, and then our council colleagues received a lot number of questions to ask all these colleagues. So let me start that. First of all, I will request all the panelists to say a few words about their journey, how the profession contributed in their success, and how they become the entrepreneur, and what kind of a tips they can provide to our chartered accountants who are listening them to take them as a role model. So every panelist will be speaking for around 5 minutes, and then there will be a question-answer session. May I request and start with the Honorable CA Nirmal Jain ji to address us. Over to CA Nirmal Jain ji.
And congratulations for this milestone event. So without much ado, without wasting much time, I'll take away. Your time is short, and we must use it as effectively as possible. So I'll take about 5 minutes to talk about my journey, my contribution, and what message I have. So I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, being brought up in a business family. But when you say entrepreneurship, then I did my CA in 87 and my IIM Ahmedabad MBA in 89. In 80s, it was that a typical CA will always get into profession and start practicing. So there were not too many CAs other than practicing. Then our family business was retail. Maybe the second alternative can be to join your family business. But I always wanted to be a little independent. I worked with Hindustan Lever for 5 years. Then I joined Oswal and Ramdev to set up the research, which is a great experience and great understanding of stock market. And then I saw the opportunity when the economy was opening up in 1994. Morgan Stanley, UTI, they were the first to set up the mutual fund. So I set up my research company at that point in time. So just to be very brief in my journey, people talk about vision and they talk about what did you see at that point in time. Maybe vision is 80% hindsight and 20% foresight. The honest thing is that now this year we'll be completing 25 years. So I'll be completing 25 years as an entrepreneur, having worked 5 years in Hindustan, 30 years work life. And so we remained focused on financial services I got into, but I never knew how big the company would go or what will happen. So actually one time looking at the opportunities as you can look ahead, meeting the challenges, and there are many challenges. The things in the last 25 years we have seen all kind of problems. We've seen the global financial crisis, Asian crisis, drought, changes of political problems, government changes, the terrorist attack. I think if somebody had a divine premonition and all these problems will happen, people would have got scared. But the fact of the matter is that India has progressed very well during these 25 years, and we've been fortunate to be part of financial services industry. And even as a first generation entrepreneur, it's a country which provides equal opportunities, and by dint of hard work and enterprise, you can reach whatever level you want to. So today, if you really look at it, I can really say that, okay, we have contributed to society. We employ more than 20,000 people directly. We have 40 lakh customers. It's something like 1,70,000 crore rupees of wealth that we manage. We have also 38,000 crore rupees of loan book. And more importantly, we pay directly as taxes to the government exchequer more than 1,000 crores. We also take pride in a lot of innovative technology that we have introduced in all our businesses. We brought the brokerage rates down to 5 paisa or even lower than that, because when we started 20 years ago, nobody was talking about that. And also we have been able to expand globally. And as I was introduced that we have offices in 8 countries and we are licensed there. So through the crisis, through all these challenges that we had, we could grow. The lessons which we had, I can just say that maybe I can try to summarize them in 4 H, which is the honesty, humility, hard work, and the 4th H, which I recently added, and I talk about these things in last few years. I've been talking about it, being a hustler, and I'll talk about all of them in a few seconds. Honesty is non-compromisable. When I practiced and when I became chartered accountant, and of course my elder brother is also chartered accountant, and my younger brother is also chartered accountant. My younger brother joined practice. So when I was doing my articleship, my then boss told me that in practice, in 10 years time, either you'll get corrupted or you'll get frustrated, because those are the days when most of the CAs basically have to. I'm being very candid, knowing that is our own community of CAs. They can understand and appreciate how things are. And what I'm talking about is 30 years ago. People used to say that most of the time what CAs have to do is go and meet income tax officers, corrupt them and get the file and get the things done. So obviously that was not acceptable to me. But now in 30 years, things have changed. And every CA and all budding chartered accountants, anybody who wants to become entrepreneur should know that you have to be honest for your own selfish interest. Because the slightest dishonesty can derail your career and future. And in the world of social media and Google, you won't have time to come back. This life will be too short to erase any smallest stigma that you can get on your professional career. So honesty has to be 100% non-compromisable. And as an entrepreneur, people used to think that businessman basically has to fix things, has to manage things. The world has changed, and it's changed in last 30 years a lot more since the reform started. So all CAs should know this, that honesty is the best policy now. Humility, because many times success gets into your head. Sometimes the professional success also gets into people's head. Hard work again is non-compromisable. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, then you have to be a hustler. You have to get things done. You can't just sit back or not take any risk. Things won't work. So just a minute on what today's message for today's CAs or what they can achieve. My 25 years of experience in entrepreneur, I can say one thing with great confidence. I'm professionally qualified as a chartered accountant, as a cost accountant, as an MBA from the best institute. I'm in Ahmedabad, in India at least. But I can say that what you learn as a CA is the most relevant and the most important for your career. Because there are many people who become entrepreneurs, they may be great marketing genius, very good at ideas, but if they don't understand the finance, they don't understand the numbers, they don't understand that your cash inflows have to be higher than cash outflows, as simple as that, and how to compute your, what is your operating leverage. They sometimes, despite great idea, despite brilliance in their domain, they don't succeed. As an analyst, as a research house, we have met so many entrepreneurs, so many successful businessmen, and this is across the industry, not financial services, any industry. CAs have an advantage because they understand finance. They have a very good understanding of legal, corporate law in particular, income tax law also. So these are the advantages which gives you a huge head start if you want to be an entrepreneur. Obviously, as an articleship, you learn and you work hard, that also will stand in good stead. The only weakness which many people point out, which is there in some CAs, which is about your communication, your ability to make presentations and present, or do a public speaking and confidence in interpersonal. These are softer aspects which, without training, with just, you can learn. And I think we have a few more fellow CAs who will talk about it. But personal behavioral things are not difficult to overcome, but the CAs have a great advantage to be successful entrepreneur, contribute to India, and also contribute to the global economy. So with this, I'll conclude. Thank you for the opportunity, and maybe once other speakers complete, will have question and answers. Thank you. Yeah.
Unmute, sir. Unmute, sir.
Nihar bhai, you are not audible.
You are muted, sir. Please unmute.
No, he's unmuted from the office side. Office is to unmute him.
I believe that, thank you, Nirmal ji, and I believe that the Honorable Vice President not able to unmute because of the technical glitch. Now, may I request, thank you very much, Nirmal ji, for giving the valuable thoughts on the.
Now, sir, we can listen.
And now, may
You
I
are
request
audible.
Honorable CA Raman Roy ji to please address us. Raman Roy ji.
I believe Mr. Vice President's audio is now working. We want him to talk before I do.
No, sir. Please, Raman Roy, sir. Please, please guide.
Okay. No, you may please commence. I'll speak after you.
Very kind of you, sir. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. And to all those logged in, well, happy birthday. The 72nd birthday is about to happen. It is a pleasure and an honor to be a part of these celebrations, and thank you for giving me an opportunity. What Mr. Atul Kumar Gupta said is talk about your journey of entrepreneurship and what the profession meant to you and what you accomplished. So as he was saying it, a lot of thoughts went through my mind. Let me give you a little flavor. Maybe there is a learning for all of us. So yes, I'm an accountant, and I used to work in the profession, in the corporate world. When my boss at that point of time, I'm talking of what, 35, 40 years ago, that tells you how old I am. When at that time he offered me an opportunity to take over or set up the operations for what was the launch of the American Express card. Many of you would be having the card. That is the time we had not yet launched the card in India. At that time, there was only one card in the market, Diners Club, and it had a princely sum of 100,000 card holders. That is the time American Express looked at launching, and I still remember the conversation in Hindustan Times building in the basement in the car park where he was waiting to go home when he offered me that opportunity, and I declined. And he asked me why I was declining. I said, I'm a chartered accountant. You want me to give up my profession and go into something that is not necessarily linked with accounting? My boss, Tony Singh, Anurup Tony Singh, was also a chartered accountant, and he looked at me and said, hey kid, you don't understand. Accountancy is a platform on which you build things into the future. You've done a terrific job, touch wood, as an accountant for what you've done for the profession. Now is the time to take it to the next level. Yeah, net, I accepted that position to set up operations. And that is what led to an opportunity to set up the back office for American Express. A lot of people come to me and said, so you created the BPO industry, the industry that is today worth $38 billion. We directly employ about 1.4 million people in that industry. Indirectly, we employ another about 5 million people. But I'd be lying if I said I had this great vision of what can be, like Nirmal had a vision for what he spoke about or what the potential and the possibilities were. I was only doing my job. I went to one of my American bosses and said that what we've done after the launch of the American Express card in India, in terms of the accounting and the back office, was terrific. And we could do it for the world. And quite honestly, he said, "You're smoking something strange. This will never happen out of India." International work. That time, remember, I'm talking of 35 odd years ago. No international work was done out of India. And he said, "You Indians cannot do this." And I got out of the office to say, "Is saale ko to dikhana hai. Isko dikhana hai what Indians are capable of, what the Indian chartered accountant is capable of." That is what initiated the journey of setting up what is lovingly called the BPM or the BPO industry in India. That is worth 38 billion, where we've directly created 1.4 million jobs and indirectly created 5 million jobs. It was only to protect the interests. It was a humiliation to me as an Indian, to me as a chartered accountant. We started with the back office of American Express. I don't have the time to give you the longer story. The success of that was seen by GE. They hired me into GE, and I was employee number 1 that set up what is called Genpact today. Again, we did accounting and used our accounting profession to do that. And the rest, as they say, is history. My present company, Quatrro, comes from the Latin word fourth. I set up American Express first, Genpact second. I set up a company called Spectramind that was acquired by Wipro third. And Quatrro is Latin for fourth. That is the company that I set up. Accountancy as a profession has played a big role in taking it to the international quarters. And my one message to you as I finish my 5 minutes is aim for the sky. At least you'll get to the rooftop. Focus on excellence. The summit, the theme that we've taken for our 3-day summit for our 72nd celebration is transforming the future, enabling excellence, augmenting trust. Enabling excellence. If you focus on excellence, if you focus on being world class, there is nothing that will stop you individually or your team or our profession. Sky is the limit for where we can take it. Thank you very much. I hand it back to the president.
Unmute yourself, sir.
Hello. Does it work now? Yeah. Thank you, Raman ji. Sometimes technology plays havoc, although Nirmal ji's first message was to use technology to the maximum extent. We agree with that. And Raman ji, the messages of self-respect when somebody challenges you, the killing spirit, thinking big, and excellence. Our members and particularly the young chartered accountants will take this home and work on it and will be as successful, if not less, as you are. It will be very helpful. It was really useful. May I now invite Shri Ashok Lodha, co-founder and director finance of
Ashish Lodha.
Ashish Lodha. Sorry, Ashish Lodha of Indra IVF. Over to you, Ashish ji.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President and President Saab, for inviting me and making me a member of the light panel. Mr. Raman Roy, Mr. Nirmal ji, and everyone else who is so senior in the industry, and we have looked up to them and made them as idols to succeed in our life. So getting an opportunity to sit together with them and express my journey is an honor indeed. So, I mean, from a small town in Udaipur, Rajasthan, where I studied and completed my chartered accountancy in 2004. And with dreams of making something in the finance world, I left for Mumbai. And to my surprise, the day I landed in Mumbai, next day I got the job offer from Edelweiss, and that's how my professional journey started. So from Edelweiss, when it was in Express Towers and it was a private company, to Morgan Stanley, and to then Citibank in Singapore. My professional career, as far as working for corporates, spanned for a period of about 10 years. ICI, as we say that you need to work really hard to get your CA certificate as completion, taught us many things that how are your basics mended, how your understanding of the financial world is there. And once I got it, the opportunity was unlimited. Initially, it was really tough to survive in Mumbai, but every day, I worked hard with professional guys, and it made me more wiser and more experience and how to scale up, how to do things, how to maintain books of accounts, how to make presentations, how to be good in public speaking. I mean, Mumbai gives you an opportunity to excel in every area. And it is because of this profession and this degree and work experience that I got an opportunity to work with Citibank in Singapore. And that was the best time of my life, that going there and working as a chartered accountant in the finance division with the hedge funds and mutual fund industry gave me a lot of exposure, a lot of recognition there, that I was surprised to know that Singapore also recognizes Indian chartered accountancy course. So that was my professional journey for the initial part. And 10 years working for other people, always had in mind that I need to do something for myself, probably a new business, or I need to join a team so that I can work with people who I am comfortable with and start a business of my own. So in 2013, by the end of December, it happened that I got a call from my hometown that, okay, my uncle is a doctor, so he was starting this IVF journey, and he was already doing IVF for last 2 years. And he said that it's a small business, but if I would be glad that if you can join us and help us scale this business. So initially I thought that, okay, I'm a vice president in Singapore and having a good comfort there, life is good, but coming back to Udaipur, to India, if this gamble would pay off, it's fine. But if it doesn't pay off, that I won't be blaming anyone else but myself. So, but yeah, I mean, I spoke to my parents, to my wife. My wife is also a chartered accountant who was working along in the same company, and she gave me a confidence that we are still young, and we've done well with the chartered accountancy course, and that's a profession that still, if you fail in life some point in time, going back to India, but you can start on your own, you can do some small work in Udaipur and will make a living somehow. Both of us can work. So that was the initial confidence that we took and moved back to India and started this journey of Indra IVF, of being an entrepreneur, of being into the world of hardships, of hues and cries and disappointments and success. All the cycles came in, and our aim was very clear that let's focus on what we have set out ourselves to. People who don't have child, I mean, you are giving them happiness of their life. So let's do the good work, and rest all will follow. So, and we started in 2014, and 7 years down the line, and I'm proud to say that we have done phenomenal job. We are the number one company in India. We have 92 centers across India in every nook and corner, and being the only healthcare company who has reached out to people to give them knowledge, to educate them that infertility is not something which cannot be treated. There are logical and scientific ways. So, I mean, being a chartered accountant helped me. Being in healthcare, the first challenge was to maintain books of accounts, to have everything transparent, to bring in really good auditors, so that a small town in Udaipur, a company which is born out of Udaipur, gets a good recognition across India and across the international platforms. So I was given liberty by my partners that you employ the best auditors in the country. You make the books transparent. Everything was fairly made clear and reasonable. You have good corporate standards. You do CSR with proper diligence and care. And I'm proud to say that within 6 years of our starting, we got the private equity investor in our company as well. So yeah, the journey has been tough. The journey has been really of all the joys, sorrows, happiness, success, and failure. But yes, we have learned a lot during this, and probably this is a success which people see, but there is a lot of hard work and effort behind it. To all the budding entrepreneurs and people who want to start or to become an entrepreneur, I would just say three things, which are very generic, and we know, all of us know, because we have done those things to become a chartered accountant. Is you work hard, you work transparently and honestly, and you keep your vision and goal that what you want to achieve in life. I think once we set our eyes on these three things and we are focused on that and we are really honest about it, I think success will come. It's a matter of time, probably a year or 2 year or 3 year. So that's my humble submission, and I'm glad that I'm a member of this honorable community where a lot of distinguished players are there, and we have read their stories in paper and magazines and upgraded ourselves and to at least become 10 to 20% of how successful they are. So thank you very much.
Sir, you're on mute.
I think Mr. President and Vice President are on mute, so people can't hear.
Yeah, sir, you're on mute.
You are on mute, sir.
Thank you, Ashish ji. I believe that now Vice President can speak. Yeah, Vice President.
Yeah, Ashish ji, thank you. And your journey is from where to where? Small town to Mumbai to Singapore to back to Udaipur. And the messages that you have given are well taken. And I think with perseverance and goal setting and eyes on goal, our young members and those who want to finally become entrepreneur will definitely be encouraged. Thank you so much. I invite now Sanjay Agarwal ji, CEO of AU Small Finance Bank. संजय जी.
संजय जी, आप भी म्यूट पे हैं. आप भी म्यूट पे हैं संजय जी.
I think centrally.
Sanjay ji unmuted. Sanjay ji unmuted.
Sorry. Thank you, Vice President Saab. And a very warm regard to my all accountants. Heartiest congratulations to the institution to get completed 71 years and very happy CA day. I'm very humbled and feeling very honored that you invited me to speak on this occasion. As you all know, I don't know, but I'm from Jaipur. Did my chartered accountancy in 1995, and I'm very surprised to see two entrepreneurs from Udaipur city. Nirmal ji and Ashish. So heartiest congratulations to them also to bring amazing leadership and entrepreneurship from city of Udaipur, which is Rajasthan. Thank you, Raman Saab, for your very josh wala bhashan se, maja aa gaya sun ke aaj. And I think I want to continue from where you all left, that I am also a product of the whole era of 90s. As you all would be now feeling that how 90s, when our honorable ex-Prime Minister Mr. Manmohan Singh, then Finance Minister, started all globalization. So I also took the advantage of that globalization happening around financial services, which is private banking, insurance, the whole mutual fund industry, the NBFC era, the HFC era. So, and I came from a very humble background. My dad served government, So there was no capital as such in the family. But post chartered accountancy, honestly, I would say that this course actually helped you a lot to understand businesses in your training period. And my all fellow CAs would agree that if you do very proper training and you understand your client through your CA firm, then you get to know all the nuances, right? And in my days, I done my training at A. Bafran Company, which was a very prominent name in the project financing. So got to meet a lot of entrepreneurs in those days, in those times, right? And got inspired to have my own. So I never ventured out for any kind of thing around CA practice, and started want to start my own actually. So I tried actually 3-4 businesses honestly in those days. Right from doing one drug company, want to do my own garment company, the bread startup. But finally, I figured out that I'm good in interest calculation. I'm good in balance sheet management. I'm good in building the whole business plan and get it executed right. So fortunately for me, I also started NBFC, and in last 25 years, we have completed AU. AU is now 25th year of its operations, right? Many would have been only knowing me after we became bank, but bank we only operated for 3 years. We actually operated 22 years as NBFC, right? So we started this company, honestly, I started this company without capital, and with one room, one man. And now in 25 years, we got not only a license, but we are into now 11 states with a close to 16,000 people. We have around a loan book of 40,000 crores with a deposit base of 24,000 crores, with a customer base of 2 million. So I think the journey is amazing, honestly. And I can only tell you, everybody there listening to me, that this just can only happen in India. The people like us, who comes very humble background, who don't have much of even backing of capital, who just come on their own passion, own working relationship, or on your own die-hard attitude, right? And want to do something on the ground, right? So India gave us that opportunity, and of course the whole this republic also supported us in last 25 years. So I'm very excited that and very humbled also the way we have grown ourselves in last 25 years and reached to this position. So I would only say that why we have able to get to this level, right? Without capital in the industry which only require capital, how one can get success, right? So I think every speaker has told you one thing, which is which I always also tell, is honesty, right? You have to be brutally honest towards yourself and towards public in large. The honesty just do not means that it is about finance honesty. कि आप हिसाब में अच्छे हो, या आप it is about overall character of you. You have to build a character where people trust you. People have people can believe in you, right? So I think that's one thing which needs to be with every entrepreneur. And of course you need to have थोड़ी समझदारी चाहिए, because in this our own country, which is around 1.3 billion people, opportunity might be so big, but there are a lot of people also to take that opportunity. So you need to be very intelligent also to pick your choices, because in the longer run, you got the outcome of your own choices you took over the years, right? And of course you have to be very, very jimmedar, because if you're not jimmedar, if you're not responsible towards the entire system, I don't think that we can build any kind of institution, or you can have even a walk around entrepreneurship. So I think over the years we practice it a lot, and being from Jaipur and without any backing, becoming very modest beginning, we got the highest platform of this world in financial services, which is a bank license, right? I don't think that bank licenses are given to anybody or everybody. Honestly, you have to do a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment, a lot of long-term vision with you to get this kind of success, right? But I honestly believe that India is again in this similar kind of bracket or similar kind of situation where we were in 1990s. Now the COVID has happened, so everything had got reset. So I think I would say to every budding chartered accountant that this is a time for you. Just have a lot of patience, bring a lot of knowledge around you, bring a lot of intelligence around you, be very, very honest and be responsible. So if you can be on this kind of path, you will do a lot of good things for yourself. And I personally believe that next story of India will start from maybe next 2-3 years, because I still remember 91, 92, our ex-finance minister Manmohan Singh Saab gave that one time, the whole budget of that era, which actually changed India, right? And that took actually next 20 years to rebuild us on those kind of initiations. So I would still believe that something is happening around the corner, and you will see a lot of new things coming up to your entrepreneur requirement. But you have to be there. You need to be very focused, and I think you can also create a lot of good things in time to come. So this I conclude myself, and happy to take any answers, any questions going forward.
Sorry.
Thank you, Sanjay ji, for your guidance and free and frank advice to all other colleagues. Now, may I request CS Sudhir Valia ji to please address all of us.
Thank you. And I really appreciate the kind of a bonding which Chartered Accountant Association is keeping. And celebrating 72nd year is a great journey. In fact, this is not very common with most other profession. Except medical profession, the association is not so bonding with all professionals. Where here we every day see a seminar and a conference to help and help each other is a great activity which we are doing. I actually started my practice as a chartered accountant in 79, and I used to do a lot of financial structuring. And in that process, my brother-in-law used to observe me, and he always felt envy that I am not been associated to him. And somewhere in 93, I became a part of a Sun Pharma group where I started interacted, and initially I looked into only finance, but as and when I started looking into other operations activity, the whole operations and business started reporting to me. I actually worked hard to ensure that company continue to grow at 25%. We have in-house developed software across the company, which been used not nationally but internationally. All the operations, we have more than 25 factories, which is reported to me. And I used to look after supply chain. Finance and taxation is a part of a business. So, in fact, having learned chartered accountancy, we learn taxation and other laws very well. And this helped us to develop a business and structure the business transactions with the understanding of the finance and legal compliances. So company used to continue to grow during that time and even later also at more than 25%. And you should be surprised to know that all the acquisitions and merger which we have done up till we acquired the Taro was without intermediary, without lawyer. We have just sit together with the buyer and find the structure to handle it, and we have done. And we had battery of lawyer in the point of time of Taro as the litigations in international area happened and concluded in our favor. But I would like to say that our education is helping us a great way to look into the business part, and that is the age over of chartered accountant over others. And I really thank this profession for giving this opportunity. I think any chartered accountant who wants to be focused, then will see the success in the story. I understand that we are not very focused on presentation, but that is not the limitations which we have. Yeah,
Thank you.
friends.
Yeah, thank you, Sudhirji, for your deliberation and advice. And you are sharing your experience as a professional, that how this profession of chartered accountancy supported your journey of excellence. Thank you very much. We have a large number of questions received from the members. And we have 4 council colleagues and the august presence of the chairman, Northern India Regional Council, Shri Agarwal ji as well. So may I request Prakash ji to raise the question first to Nirmal Jain ji.
Sir, my question is, today our profession sees participation of young minds who wish to work out of box and something creative. Still, at times they could not reach at desired level. Since you are a well-respected entrepreneur at national and international level, what guidance you would like to give to chartered accountants to be a successful entrepreneur like you?
Thank you. So, one is that when you say that we have not reached desired success level, the first lesson in entrepreneurship is persistence, perseverance. That is one. And secondly, the success. How do you measure success? Because do people measure success in terms of money, wealth, or in terms of mission that you set out for? To my mind, what I learned from my father is that the only failure in life is not putting your best effort. But once you are putting your best effort for whatever you are trying, then the outcome is not exact, because it's in the hands of maybe sometimes in the hands of God or in the hands of circumstances. But as long as you put in your best effort with your hard work, with your all the intelligence and all these things, then success follows. And when you say that you're not reached the desired level of success, how much time have you given it to yourself? As an entrepreneur, if I share my journey, first 10 years, we were nowhere. We were on the verge of survival or getting out of the business. So it takes time. The lessons for entrepreneurs who want to be successful, that's what your question is, that it requires a confidence and faith in yourself. It requires perseverance, and entrepreneurship is always for long haul, is not shortcut. You take risk, and that is the only way you can win. And sometimes, even after taking risk, if it doesn't work, you have to take it as a good, in your stride as a good sports person. But most 99%, if you put in your best effort, you'll succeed. Entrepreneurship is just, I'll try and use, is about betting to win. Means you gamble to win. Most people want to win without gambling, or they want to have a shortcut. That, okay, I become entrepreneur now, I should create wealth, or I should become like this, or I should become like, or I should have a bank like Sanjay ji, or I should have a business like, Raman ji, but they don't realize that what kind of long, hard journey it was. So I think don't give up. That's the only message I have. Remain focused on your goal and have confidence in yourself. And don't measure success by a relative comparison, but measure success by, what internally you think that you have done something good and something different and something that you set out yourself for.
Ranjit ji.
Thank you, President Sir, Vice President Sir. My question to Ashish Lodha ji, sir, it's regarding startup. What we have seen, whether India in recent time we have seen, are not able to accept the bona fide failures and the experiment they are doing with the open arms. I was going to the startup website. It was saying from 2016 till date, 18th of February to 2020, 82,000 startup have registered. Out of that, 320 has been financed so far of 3,300 crore. So how do you see, unlike West and European American country, how do you see the India challenge in a startup in the ecosystem which we are operating?
Thank you, sir. Ranjit ji. My single point would be that if you talk to if you are mentioning a status of 5 years back, I think it was a really a big challenge to get a startup really going. But I have seen things changing in last few years. Lot of venture capital firms, lot of groups. Like I am member of one of such group as TIE, which are helping lot of startups to get funding, to get mentorship, to help them scale up and to get them relevant exposure across various branches to meet the relevant people. So, I mean, the scenario 5 years back and now has changed a lot. But I would agree with your point that it's there are a lot of challenges, and 80,000 plus startups already registered in India. But I think most of them are struggling, and they find it very difficult to survive for next 2-3 years for the lack of funding, lack of motivation, mentorship, getting the right connects to showcase their business. So I mean, again, the view is changing, and India is into a very good space now. If you see a lot of fintech startups like Tavaga, educational startups like Byju's and etc. Have made their name across the world, and with respect to these startups, other startups are also getting now recognition from the world that okay, a lot of good things will come out from this. But yeah, it's a challenging environment, and people need to have patience and motivation, because success won't come easy. Might be that other people are competing with them and they bring a product similar to what they are, but yeah, they have to persist, and I think the person standing strong will win in the end.
सर अनम्यूट कर लीजिए. Unmute.
Sorry. Thank you, Ranjit Bhai and Ashish ji. May I request Rajesh Bhai?
Yeah, myself, CA Rajesh Sharma, Central Council member. In advance, happy CA day to all members and students. My question is to CA Raman Roy, CMD of Quatrro. Sir, BPOs see a great boom in Indian economy, and your commendable role in that is always appreciated. At times, we discuss that Indian chartered accountants can play a very important role in export of services through KPOs. What is your guidance in that direction from chartered?
Thank you very much, Rajesh Sharma ji. Yes, I think the opportunity is not just mammoth, it's humongous. Because globally, the need for areas in which we have the expertise as chartered accountants, it's a global need. But what we have to do is we have to fulfill it at a level where the excellence is of international standard. You know, I give the example of buying a car in India during my father's time. I lost my father a few years ago. But when he bought a car and he took it for servicing, he went with a list of things. ये वाइपर नहीं चल रहा है, ये विंडो उठाने में आवाज करती है. And when he came back and all the items that he had given had been repaired, he felt very delighted कि देखो जो भी प्रॉब्लम थी वो सारी रिपेयर कर दी और पैसे भी नहीं लिए, पहली सर्विस थी, फ्री सर्विस. From that, we move to international standard to say, why does my new car have a problem? Why do I have to take it for a service where the wiper doesn't work or the window makes a noise or anything? That is the global international standard. As a profession, we have to strive for that international standard. And if we strive for that standard, whether it be on law, whether it be on accounting, whether it be on diligence, whether it be on MIS and ratios and evaluation, you know, there is a new buzzword in our world today. The buzzword is artificial intelligence. The buzzword is analytics. The accountancy profession, the buzzword is cybersecurity. The accountancy profession is in the middle of those items that are multi-billion-dollar ideas. if we strive towards excellence and create capabilities where we can fulfill from India at a global standard, the opportunity for us is huge.
Thank you. Now, good afternoon, Sanjay ji. My question is to you. As you started with that 3 people are from Rajasthan, but let me tell you, there are many from Rajasthan in this screen today, including me also. I am from Chittorgarh and based at Mumbai. Sir, questions to you from my side is, fintech is the concept used very frequently today. Banks are adopting various technology to serve customers. What future you see about technology overtaking human job in banking sector, in general context, and services provided by the chartered account? Over to you, sir. Please do guide us.
Great question. But so technically, as an entrepreneur, I always thought through that there are 3 pillars of entrepreneurship. It's engineering, second management, third accounting. So I'm an accountant, learn management through my practice, but engineering, which is talking about the fintech space, is all about the innovations, the technical side, and all those things. So let me attempt to answer your question. But this is just going super. This is non-negotiable. Every bank or every financial services has to adopt the latest technology to acquire, to service, to do any kind of transaction with this new era, right? So, of course, fintech is largely associated with the NBFCs, but we being a bank, we need to get hold of to every aspect of technology which allows our customer to transact with the bank through internet banking, mobile banking, through the video KYC nowadays, which is allowed. So I don't think that nowadays, if the customer is literate enough, is good enough in operating technology, he need to come to bank. He can do anything sitting in his comfort, his own convenient time, and do any kind of requirement, right? Whether it's a deposit, a transaction, or a loan, and whatever, right? Of course, a bank need to show their visibility, because India mein jo dikhta hai wohi mana jata hai. So we has to build a branch, but nowadays branch footfall is only either there is a bearer of the customer, or customer himself just come to operate lockers or do some very necessary items which he do not want to do through internet or through technology driven applications, right? So I think this is going very very crazy space, and we are very fortunate that India has a lot of talent around technology learnings. Thanks to all ITNs, thanks to all masters around these courses, right, which have just changed the whole landscape in the last 25 years. मुझे खुद को पता है कि मेरा पहला अकाउंट खोला था. I need to take around 2 to 3 months to open an account in SBBJ, and with 2 guarantor around it, right? Nowadays, it just requires 5 minutes. At AU Bank also, you can actually open an online account with us in 10 minutes. Or you can call our guy, he will open an account in 10 minutes. So it is through your own digital competence. And of course, if you're not competent, AU has, or any bank has a lot of digital competency to give you assisted services around it. So I think we all need to be very careful that this is coming very very fast and very very sharp. But of course, it doesn't mean that it will actually take away a lot of jobs. I believe that relationship still has to be done on face-to-face, one-to-one, and the transaction has to take through technology. So to build relationship will require a lot of people on ground to meet, to explain, to understand, and then give you a lot of offering through digital platforms. Of course, because the chartered accountants, you're talking about the services, I think is immense, because I think the ability to give a lot of services will go up. I have seen in last this lockdown period that our whole audit has done through tech platform. The audit was done through online assisted model, right? So I think every chartered accountant need to understand this tech revolution and need to adapt it, need to understand it, and he should do better than later, right? But I think there will be a lot of relevance because after all, we are all accountant, right? And any bank in any financial services, the one guy which is required day in day out is an accountant, right? So you need to adapt, you need to build yourself, but there will be a lot of opportunity around. There may be a different manner, but there will not be any dearth of work.
Thank you, Sanjay. And now, as we move forward, sir, I have a question for Sudhir Valia, sir. I'm Shashank Agarwal, Chairman of the Northern Region. Very happy to be here. And sir, this question is quite a difficult question for the entrepreneurs at a very you can say when the young entrepreneur enters into the market and asking a question from the senior person. So I just like to share a question with you, sir. That as you are a very senior entrepreneur and has a long journey of business and investment, today everybody talks about the sustainable development goals and even for the future portfolio. So, sir, what is your call for the same? Please, sir.
Yeah, this is sustainability is the most important parameters for any business to succeed. And that if we want to develop a model, then we need to be very sure and structured way we have to progress into the subject. So sustainability of the business comes from a focus and the detailed working what you have, understanding the requirement of the customer. And any business...
Now may I request... Sudhir Valia, please continue, sir.
Yeah, any business, when you look into it, we have to grow and decide about how the product can grow further and do a more value-added situations all the time to come. So in a business, when you look into a one-time business, then that business will have a lot of challenge. Now, if I take in the pharma business, there's a product which is medicine, which is you take once you have a problem and your problem is addressed, then the company has to put a lot of efforts like cold, cough, fever, all these antibiotics which is available in the market, where the company has to put continuously acquire the customer. At the other side, when we have a chronic disease, where once the customer starts taking the drug, he has to be continuously on the drug. So if suppose we say that diabetic or heart patients, there is no cure to the disease, but to sustain that problem, patient has to continue to take medicines. Now, if you focus on the sustainable side of the business, then you will grow. I don't mean that other part of the business are not good, but you need to ensure that you grow your business where you satisfy your customer and you continue to capitalize on it.
My question to Nirmalji. Nirmalji there?
My request to all is that we have to complete in next 4 or 5 minutes. So maybe one question by Ranjit Bhai to Nirmalji and one question by to Raman Roy ji. They are seniors.
Nirmalji, I have one question to you. With great humility, I would like to submit that chartered accountants are, with hard work and honesty, doing wonders all across the country, and whenever any work is entrusted to them, they are doing wonders, where insolvency, GST, forensic. So my question is like, what is the role of the CA in this dynamic, complex environment of investment banking? As you are an expert from the financial field, so investment banking, how CA can do in this era?
So investment banking is a very skilled job requiring qualified people, and chartered accountants are very well suited for this. Although there are many successful investment bankers who have a non-CA MBA background, but still the larger, it's a deal-making business. So maybe there are 3 components in investment banking business, and if you talk about global service provider, then we are talking about cross-border takeover. So investment banking can be equity capital market, debt capital market, and mergers and acquisitions. All these require a lot of financial calculation, understanding of the balance sheet of the acquirer as well as the target, and the negotiations have a lot of implications from a tax perspective. Many a times the compliances to the laws of the land, and it's a cross-border M&A, then laws of both the countries. So I think CAs, any large investment banking transaction, chartered accountants are a must. Not only the CAs of investment banking firm, but there are other CA firms also that are involved, audit firm or people, the financial diligence firms. So CAs can play a big role. Although right now the buzz is about deglobalization, but as India grows, there will be a lot of transactions of investment banking which will be cross-border. A lot of foreign companies are coming into India, making investment, direct investments, as well as portfolio investment. I think CA as a profession has a great opportunity, and many CAs will sign in this, because this is one area which requires technical expertise, and that chartered accountants have. So I think their role will be very, very important and a great opportunity for the community.
Thank you.
My question is to C. Ashish Lodha, co-founder and director of finance of Indra IVF. Sir, since you are the patron of the healthcare industry, please say the role CA can play in healthcare sector.
So we have played thank you for your question, Rajesh ji. We have played an instrumental role in my industry, which I can relate to, that people, doctors, nursing and paramedical staff are doing their stuff. But after we got an understanding of what the business is all about, we started giving feedback to doctors. Since the chartered accountant has a good understanding of the numbers, this helped me and my team to give them a regular feedback on how many patients are coming, how much is the treatment cost given to them, what is our success rate, what is the MIS that is saying, what are the expenses and everything. And doctors who were quick enough to understand that, okay, the MIS feedback and performance evaluation being given to them is not to scrutinize them, but to help them better understand that what kind of work you should do with the patient, or what is the expectation that the patient is coming to you. And basically it's a bottom line is that you started giving feedback to the service provider that what is the patient expectation and how can you provide better services to them. So this one particular thing helped my company leaps and bounds, because it used to happen month-on-month basis with the help of using powerful BI tools, with the use of PowerPoint presentations. And I think every doctor in my company is glad that they are given feedback on a regular basis how to improve every day, every month, working for the company. So yeah, this profession gave me the understanding and gave me the ability and my team to help them achieve this success.
May I request? We have crossed the time limit. May I request now? But we have a lot from but because of time, believe that I request our Vice President to
Sir, unmute yourself. You are not audible.
President, sir.
Now you.
Hello. Can you hear now?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, President, sir. And thanks all the panelists of today. I think this session has given a lot of reassurance to us and our members that our belief is true. And if I focus on the takeaways of this session, then I may mention that everybody is of the view that gone are the days when people used to grow by resorting to corrupt practices. Honesty is the buzzword now, and only an honest person would now succeed. Times have changed. The speakers also emphasized the necessity of risk-taking ability. If a person wants to really grow and finally become an entrepreneur, then one must take calculated and well-assessed risks. One must have grip over knowledge of the industry, particularly knowledge of accounting profession to be successful. Training during articleship, communication skills are also very important if one wants to be successful in any area, whether it is practice, whether it is entrepreneurship of business or anything. One must think big and one must have killing spirit. Once a task is undertaken, one must have an eye on the goal and one must relentlessly work to achieve the goal. Another very important takeaway is that now the territorial barriers are totally gone. The place from where you work, whether it is a small town, big town, or any part of the world, would not make difference with technology advancing so much. A person sitting in any corner of the world can certainly grow if he works with right strategy. And if I conclude in just a few words, probably three things are totally not negotiable. One is honesty, another is risk-taking ability, and third is walking with technology. Adopt technology and get upgraded on continuous basis on technology, then one may be really successful very fast. Sustainability is something on which we touched upon. Sustainability of business is certainly important, and post-COVID, everybody has realized that one has to think about sustainability much in advance and not wait for disaster. Disaster management plans are very necessary for business, and today United Nations talks of sustainability of Earth itself. Within this larger goal of achieving sustainability of globe, I think the smaller goal could be achieving sustainability of business, following all principles and rules of the game. So with this, I thank all the panelists and my council colleagues for participating in this panel discussion. The panelists have dealt with the subject very well. They have answered questions very well. And our council members framed questions which will be very useful to the listeners and to our colleagues. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Raman sir.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Nirmal Jain sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sudhir Bhai.
Ashish ji.
Thank you, Ashish ji.
Thanks to all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Raman Roy ji.
Namaste.
Thank you, Nirmal ji. Thank you all. Thank you,
Namaste.
President sir, Vice President sir.
Thank you. So, we need not discontinue, I think. We can continue on the same link. Yeah.
Very good evening, Vivi sir.
Good evening, everybody. I think they will join now.
Yeah, Dr. D.K. Agarwal ji has already joined.
Yeah.
And Baldev sir has already joined. And Durgesh ji has also joined, sir. I think, and Hiranandani ji has also joined. I think everyone joined, sir.
Ji. Yeah. Namaste.
Tarun Dev ji has not joined.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon,
Very
Niranjan,
good afternoon.
Hiranandani ji. Good afternoon, Agarwal ji. Everybody.
हमारे PHDCCI president Agarwal ji.
President.
जी हीरानंदानी जी, निरंजन जी नमस्कार.
नमस्कार, नमस्कार.
Good to see you.
Always.
Namaste, President sir.
नमस्ते नमस्ते.
गीता जी आपका सेशन तो कल है. Your session is tomorrow. उसको थोड़ी देर के लिए. Welcome DK Agarwal sir, Niranjan ji, Durgesh and Baldev ji. Office, are we ready with this? Sir. लेकिन आपको उसमें आवाज बहुत आती है, पीछे से कोई बर्तनों की उसकी आवाज आती है, इसलिए आपको करना पड़ेगा.
हमारे लघु उद्योग भारती के महामंत्री मिस्टर लेले भी आने वाले हैं आज.
Office, should we start? We are already delayed by 4 minutes. Office. Vishnu.
Yes, sir.
शुरू करें?
Yes, sir. Start, please.
Okay. Very good evening to all the viewers, and I welcome all of you in the second session for this day. That is the celebration of the 72nd Foundation Day of the ICI. And in this session, we have the distinguished panelists who are holding the very senior position at the various chambers of commerce. And you are aware that since the ICI, our profession is also evolving towards around the economy. And it is always good to have the views of the Chamber of Commerce and a very close working. We have with us very eminent personalities from the various Chamber of Commerce. We have Niranjan Hiranandani ji, who is the President of ASSOCHAM. We have Dr. D.K. Agarwal ji, the President of the PhD Chamber of Commerce. He is from the city of Delhi only. Niranjan ji is from Mumbai. We have the President of the Gujrat Chamber of Commerce and Industry, CA Durgesh Buch ji. And then we have with us Shri Baldev Bhai Prajapati, that is the President of the Udyog Bharati, who is the, you must have heard the famous case of the Udyog Bharati, who all are dealing in the indirect taxes. So there are a number of cases being fought by the Udyog Bharati for the benefit of the MSME sector. Let's as you witnessed in the first session, that we were having the stalwarts from the CA profession who are in the entrepreneurship. We discuss about that how to move forward from the ASP to BSP, that is the from assurance service provider to a complete business solution provider. And this session we will be talking about how the Chamber of Commerce and the profession can work together, can work in tandem to see that the Indian economy is moving in the trajectory of the 5 trillion target, and what role the chartered accountants can play along with the Chambers of Commerce. We have, as I mentioned you, CA Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, who is the co-founder of the Hiranandani group, and he spearhead the national president of the National Real Estate Development Council, and now he is the president of the ASSOCHAM. We have with us, as I mentioned, the Dr. D.K. Agarwal, who is the fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, our chartered accountant. So Dr. D.K. Agarwal is the presently not only the MD, president of the PhD chamber, but also he is the chairman and MD of the SMC Investment and Advisors Limited. Durgesh Buch is also a chartered accountant, proud member of the CA profession, and he is the president of the Gujrat Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and he is the past regional council member as well from the WIRC of ICAI, and past president of the Chartered Accountant Association Ahmedabad and other tax consultant bar. Baldev Bhai Prajapati ji is the president of Laghu Udyog Bharati. With this, what we will do, that we will request each one of the panelists to speak for a few minutes, maybe 4 or 5 minutes each, about their experience, how the profession supported them to reach to this level, and what role the professionals can play, and what kind of a motivation they can share with the all the viewers. I just wish to share with you right now, there are more than 15,000 viewers, the members and students who are live witnessing this program. So your word of wisdom will be very important for all of them. So let me start with the CA Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani ji, and then we will request all the panelists, and after your address for 4 or 5 minutes each, and then we will be having a large number of questions received from the members at large, who will be taken by our council colleagues, and our chairman of the WIRC is also with us, Lalit Bajaj ji, apart from Aniket Talati ji, who hails from the city of Ahmedabad. MP Vijay Kumar, council member, he is the chairman. ASB is from Chennai. Anuj Goel ji is from Ghaziabad. And so over to Niranjan Hiranandani ji for your valuable address to our members.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Mr. Gupta. Lovely to see all of you here today. Thank you very much, my colleagues, especially Mr. Agarwal from PhD Chamber, Mr. Jambusaria, with so many other of my friends and colleagues, both from the Institute and all the other associations that we have. It's very nice to come back always to the Institute, and thank you for this wonderful day of the Chartered Accountants. I'm very proud of it and really look forward to always associate with you in every possible way. The first and most important thing which we have to understand is what the Prime Minister said about An and Jahan. These two aspects of it are getting confused. Health is going to be the primary focus, and whatever has been done in terms of a lockdown, whatever has been done in terms of keeping people at segregating distances, wearing masks, is something which we will have to continue to do, because coronavirus is here to stay. Unless we don't get a vaccine, this is there. People preemptively are moving around and taking risks which we should not be doing. And as chartered accountants, we have to impress on people that the health of the people is most important. However, the second part is equally important, Jan or Jahan. So we really have to see how the economy can come back. Until you don't open up the economy, we cannot possibly bring back the situation of jobs, unemployment, migrant labor, and a combination of all this. The Chartered Accountant Association is a very, very important body. along with the chambers of commerce, we do need you to constantly flag off to the government, to the Prime Minister, to the Finance Minister about the actions that we really need to do in order to rejig the economy back into the force. This is very important because at one point of time, political necessity will be important for the purposes of seeing that the number of people getting affected by COVID is kept to a minimum. And at the same time, till the association does not flag off all the issues of the economy, it will not be fair to the prosperity and economy of the country. So we constantly need to monitor this, and we should publicize this as issues which the industry and the institute must be there. So let's put up the second part, which is extremely important. The duty and role of the chartered accountants in various fields of activity that we really need to do. One, the benchmarking of what the economy needs vis-a-vis what is done with the other countries of the world. What has the United States done? What has England done? What are the other countries which have been doing? Whether they are Far East countries, Singapore, New Zealand, Australia, and all the other countries. Of course, our country is very different. But unless we don't benchmark what has been done in other countries, it is not proper for us to understand whether we have done enough or is it not enough. And I think this is very important because at no point of time has the institute come out with the idea of what we really need to do in order to rejig the economy to come back into fact. Let me give you one example of what I'm trying to say. We must say that the government, if nothing else, not giving to the private sector, needs to pump far more money into the economy in order to revive it. One small example I'll give you. The amount of refunds which was supposed to give for the income tax department back into the economy has been given to individuals, charitable trusts, partnerships, LLPs, but have not been given to corporate entities. I think this is not correct. If a due is there of an individual or a corporate entity to pay to the government, we mandate and the institute suggests that you should make this payment. But if the government has to pay this back, we have not said a single word in terms of them having to repay it back to the corporates. This is important because if government is not going to pay its dues, how do you expect the economy to really revive? The second portion of the idea of thought is what is needed in order to revive the economy. Is it sufficient, whatever has been the $20 trillion economy, 20 lakh crores of rupees which the Vitt Mantri has put up in the economy? Is it enough in terms of it? There are two aspects of it. One, yes, it is enough. And under the circumstances of today, no, it's not enough because the demand creation required in the economy is not sufficient. I think we need to debate it today, if not today, in a short period of time and say, yes, what is the opinion of the economists? What is the opinion of the Institute of Chartered Accountants as to what will we need to do? My personal view, of course, has been, and we have represented to the government, that you need a minimum 50% cut in GST by the purposes of central government, even if necessary, printing notes in order to see that the economy is put into a revival mode. So what is it that I feel that the Institute needs to do? We need to see that the economy is put back onto track, and we need to give advice into what the situation is. And the third part of it, which is equally important, is the liquidity position of the market. You as chartered accountants are affiliated with commerce and business and trade regularly, continuously, either as chartered accountants in terms of audits or in terms of consultancy practice that you do. And of course, those who are other professionals in terms of connected with industry. The liquidity position of the companies, businesses, SMEs and others, in spite of the fact that so much concessions have been given to SMEs, we still find that almost 3/4 of the SMEs are in difficulty, unable to get the credit that they need, and also that the sufferance of the rest of the economy. I'm not even talking about hospitality, hotels, aviation, those who are dealing with restaurants and other people, because that their dire condition is something unbelievable, and we really don't know how that is going to be settled. I haven't even been able to give full conclusion as to what we need to do. So under the circumstances, I do believe that we need to make a small group and study and say, what is the institute's recommendation at the international level, the benchmarking of what we need to do and how we need to do. Of course, the government will not accept everything that you say or I say in terms of NAREDCO or ASSOCHAM or PhD chamber or PHDCCI chambers. They are not going to listen to whatever we say because they will decide their own. But it is our duty to flag off these issues and do it. I must congratulate the Institute for all the proactive activity, the coaching, the teaching, the learning, the sharing of information, the dissemination which has been done. It is a unique job that you have done, Mr. President, and also all the associates of the chartered accountants who are there on your committee. My heartiest congratulations to you for the wonderful work that is being done. I needed to flag off this issue because I feel that the economy is struggling through a very difficult period. And whatever we need to do, both in terms of chambers of commerce like ASSOCHAM and NAREDCO, but also I feel professional institute like yours has a duty-bound role to do and add to this entire support one way or the other. We may agree to disagree between ourselves. We may agree to disagree with the governments that be, but we need to formulate an opinion and a direction in which the economy must grow. So with that, I have done my introductory remarks. If there's anything else that you need to ask me, I'm here for you. Thank you.
VP sir is mute, I believe.
Yeah. Hello.
We are trying to unmute. Yes.
Hello. Hello. Audible now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Thank you, Hiranandani ji. And yes, we agree with you that we need to collaborate in our efforts to represent to the government with FICCI, CII, and we need to have group. But then we have already done one set of representation. There is a group which is functioning and it is continuously working. And whatever further efforts are required, you rightly suggested, if need be, the government will have to print money and do deficit financing to revive the economy. And probably if need be is not the right word, there is need and government may have to do it. Thank you for all suggestions that you have given. And may I now invite Dr. D.K. Agarwal, President of PhD Chamber, to have a dialogue with our members.
Yeah, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. First of all, my thanks to Shri Atul Kumar Gupta ji, President, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, CA Nihar Jambusaria ji, Vice President, and my colleague Niranjan ji from ASSOCHAM, Shri Durgesh from Gujrat Chamber of Commerce, Shri Baldev Prajapati ji from Laghu Udyog Bharati, and other distinguished guests here, and all the participants. I would like to say that I'm very, very happy to be here today, and particularly when I see a lot of chartered accountants. In fact, all the guests today from all the chambers, they are all chartered accountants. So it is really, a good feeling that I'm getting that chartered accountants are reaching to great heights. And I can tell you, I am proud to be a chartered accountant. I qualified in 1985 as a chartered accountant. And I can tell you, this professional qualification, though I never did practice, but this qualification has helped me in all my activities, in all the sphere of businesses which I did. It gave me, first of all, it gave me the confidence. It gave me the respect. Whenever you talk to anybody, I remember even in 1985, 86, whenever we used to say that I'm a chartered accountant, there was automatically respect coming from the other side. It gave me the recognition. And not only that, I will say it made me what I am today. So I am really proud to be a chartered accountant. And on this celebration of CA Foundation Day, I congratulate each one of you. And proudly we say that we are all chartered accountants. We are proud to be a chartered accountant. You asked me to speak about the career progression. I would like to say we started with a 400 square feet as a member of Delhi Stock Exchange in 1990, with around 8 to 10 people working with us, with 4 or 5 clients. And today, I'm happy to say that we have 2,500 offices in India. We have around 18 lakh customers. We have more than 4,000 employees. And we are member of all the stock exchanges in the country. Stock exchanges, commodity exchanges, currency exchanges, interest rate futures exchanges. And also we are member of Dubai Gold and Commodity Exchange, and also a member of SGX as a proprietary trading member, Singapore Exchange. And we are also into investment banking. We are a NBFC. We are into real estate advisory. We are into portfolio management. We are a NBFC. We are into distribution of financial products. So we are almost into all the financial services except that we are a bank. And I can proudly say that even in our management, almost everybody is a chartered accountant. And this profession has given us a lot. We are really indebted to this profession. And the moment we meet any other chartered accountant in any other profession, even there is a mutual respect for each other. So the chartered accountant profession teaches you a lot of things. Even if you go into business, the kind of understanding we develop by being a chartered accountant, even if it is a chemical field, even if it is a construction field, whatever is the field, if you are a chartered accountant, you practically master that field also in some time. So not only that, because we have been very, in chartered accountant, you have to work very hard even to pass the exams. So that working hard culture gets, inbuilt, inculcated in us, and that culture continues. So we are always hardworking, and this really helps in our life. So just to give this message that it is a very noble profession. I was hearing the concluding remarks in the last session where Niharji said that you have to be honest. That is a non-negotiable. Second, you should have a risk-taking capability. I think that is again something which is very important and which a chartered accountant learns from this profession. And third also, he said, I just forgot, but that was also very important. Niharji, you said something, the third point.
Technology.
Technology. We have learned during these COVID-19 times how the technology is helping us. In fact, without technology, without telecom, this even, forget 2.5 months, even for 7 days, the life would have become very difficult. Today, by using technology, we can order anything. Because of this technology only, we are able to interact. Somebody sitting in Mumbai, somebody sitting in Gujrat. We are able to talk as if we are meeting physically. This is the miracle of the technology. And again, I will say, if this is the technology, which can, again, this digital technology can give edge to India. Today we are talking India making a $5 trillion. Prime Minister Modi says that the 21st century belongs to us. And one thing which can give this edge to India, which can really make India as a big economic power of the world, is the use of technology, use of the digital technology, be it artificial intelligence, be it cloud computing, be it augmented reality, virtual reality, Internet of Things, big machine, big data learning, so machine learning. So all those things, they are going to be driving the growth. So I think those three points which you talked about, and chartered accountants are very quick to adapt. So it is not going to be the survival of the fittest. Now it is going to be the survival of the quickest. And I can tell you, the adaptability of the chartered accountant is the highest. And I will say only one thing: wherever the chartered accountants are working, whether they are in practice or they are in employment, the one mantra which we have learned is excellence. Continue that excellence in any field wherever you are in. With this, I close here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Agarwal ji. Very nice message you have given, and we all take it. You rightly mentioned that this profession has helped us in whatever field we may be, and that is the fact of life. Even technology has saved many human lives in one sense, because with technology we are connected and spreading positivity. So the negativity is saving people from getting depressed. Thank you so much for this message. And may I now invite Baldev Bhai Prajapati, who is the president of Laghu Udyog Bharati. Hiranandani ji rightly mentioned that whatever is done for MSMEs, either it is not enough or it has not reached MSMEs. Let us hear from Baldev Bhai what he has to say about Laghu Udyog.
नमस्कार, आदरणीय श्री निहार जम्बूसरिया साहब, मैं हिंदी में बोलूंगा, चलेगा ना? हिंदी में बोलूंगा जरा। श्री डॉक्टर बीके अग्रवाल जी, हीरानंदानी जी और अलग एसोसिएशन के प्रेसिडेंट और चार्टर अकाउंटेंट जो अपना आज कार्यक्रम रखा है, उसके आदरणीय बंधु। एक्चुअली भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था के लिए उसको आगे बढ़ाना है तो सबसे अच्छा सूक्ष्म और लघु उद्योग को बढ़ावा देना है। हम सब जानते हैं कि 1000 साल पहले एक्चुअली सूक्ष्म और लघु उद्योग की वजह से ही अपने देश का जीडीपी वो 34-35% रहता था। वो हम नहीं कहते हैं, लेकिन एंडर्स मेडिसन करके ब्रिटिश अर्थशास्त्री है, उनको एक काम सौंपा गया था और उसने एक बुक लिखी है। उसमें उसने लिखा है कि 1000 साल पहले अपना जीडीपी जो था वो 34% था। विश्व के हर देश में अपना निकास होता था, इसलिए जीडीपी था। हर गांव, हर नगर में अपना कुछ ना कुछ उत्पाद होता था। और उसके बाद अपने पर जो आक्रमण हुए या कोई आए, उसके कारण जब हम आजाद हुए तो अपना जीडीपी 7.5% रह गया। उसके बाद हम सब जानते हैं कि ये जीडीपी और अपने साम्यवाद, समाजवाद के नाम पे बड़े उद्योगों को ज्यादा और मिला बढ़ावा। उसको 4 या 5% पे ब्याज से पैसा मिलने लगा और छोटे उद्योग को जो 2000 जितनी प्रोडक्ट एक रिजर्व थी उसके कारण चल रहे थे। लेकिन 1992 में ग्रेट करार जब आया तब नरसिंह राव जी को ये सिग्नेचर करना पड़ा और उसके बाद भी उसी टाइम अपना जीडीपी 2.5 से 3% हो गया। और उसके कारण ही अपना सूक्ष्म और लघु उद्योग की स्थिति बिगड़ती गई। उसको बढ़ावा देने के लिए ही फिर आज हम सब जानते हैं कि भारत की जो रीढ़ है वो सूक्ष्म और लघु उद्योग है, उसको बढ़ावा देना ही चाहिए। और एमएसएमई को बढ़ाने की उसके बहुत लाभ है। उसका सेटअप खूब आसानी से होता है, पूंजी की न्यूनतम आवश्यकता रहती है, उच्चतर रोजगार अनुपात पूंजी नियुक्त करना पड़ता है, अकुशल कारीगर रहता है, श्रमिक रहता है, तो भी सूक्ष्म और लघु उद्योग में चलता है। क्योंकि लघु उद्योग ही एक ऐसा है, स्किल डेवलपमेंट सेंटर बोला जाता है। वहां अनस्किल्ड वर्कर आता है और उसको स्किल्ड बना देते हैं और उसके बाद वो अच्छी पगार के लिए या किसी तरह फिर बड़े उद्योग में चला जाता है। प्रभावी उत्पादन भी लघु उद्योग आज कर रहे हैं। मध्यम और बड़े उद्योग के लिए एक अच्छी सेवा, क्योंकि एक बड़ा उद्योग के लिए सूक्ष्म और लघु उद्योग चाहिए ही। गुजरात में एक टाटा नैनो आई तो उसके साथ 200 छोटे उद्योग, सूक्ष्म और लघु उद्योग तुरंत उसके साथ आ गए। वैसा लघु उद्योग के लिए ये सब बहुत लाभ है और उसको अपने भारत की रीढ़ गिनी जाती है। तो उसको हम सब जानते हैं कि अपने माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी आज 20 लाख करोड़ का फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर के द्वारा जो पैकेज एमएसएमई के लिए रखा है, उसके कारण अपने सूक्ष्म और लघु उद्योग बढ़ते जा रहे। और एक इम्पोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूट आज उन्होंने जो आह्वान किया है, आत्मनिर्भर भारत, तो आत्मनिर्भर कैसे हम होंगे? माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक अच्छा उदाहरण भी दिया था कि बेटा जब 20 साल का होता है तो बाप भी उसको बोलता है, बेटा अभी तू अपने आप कमाना शुरू कर दे, आत्मनिर्भर हो जा। ऐसे ही भारत में अभी हम सब एक ग्रोथ वाला अपना देश है, विकसित देश है, तो उसके लिए आज आत्मनिर्भर होना जरूरी है। लेकिन उसके लिए आज अपनी लिक्विडिटी या कुछ जो जरूरत थी वो भी आज माननीय प्रधानमंत्री, ऐसी महामारी में भी आफत को अवसर में बदलने की ताकत हम सब जानते हैं अपने देश के उद्योग वाले रखते हैं। दूसरी जगह ये सब नहीं होता है, लेकिन अपना देश एक ऐसा है जिसके उद्यम से आज अपना राष्ट्र, उसको कोई तकलीफ नहीं हुई। इतना लॉकडाउन होने के बाद भी आफत को हम अवसर मानकर अपना देश में ये सब चला रहे हैं। और ऐसे में संगठित क्षेत्र में वो भी अनुपालन की आवश्यकता में वृद्धि भी करने वाले हैं। सूक्ष्म और छोटे क्षेत्रों के लिए आवश्यक अनुपालन ऐसी एक खिड़की रूप में भी है एमएसएमई, और ऐसा हम सब एमएसएमई को बढ़ावा करने के लिए आज लघु उद्योग भारती एक अच्छी, हर लघु और सूक्ष्म उद्योग अच्छी तरह से चले वो प्रयत्न कर रहे हैं। और ऐसे में हम सब जानते हैं कि स्वदेशी का भी अपने माननीय पीयूष जी गोयल भी बहुत आग्रह रखते थे, और स्वदेशी उद्योग आएंगे तो ही अपने राष्ट्र की उन्नति होगी। स्वदेशी से ही हम आत्मनिर्भर बनेंगे। आज राष्ट्र को उन्नति की ओर ले जाना है तो सूक्ष्म और लघु उद्योग से, और ऐसा नहीं है, अपने देश के उद्यमी ऐसे हुनर वाले हैं, कोई भी आइटम बना सकते हैं। आज माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने लोकल से वोकल वो एक शब्द रखा है, और अपने देश में सब बोलते हैं। अभी माननीय नितिन गडकरी जी कहते थे कि देश में बाहर से N95 मास्क लाना पड़ता था, लेकिन अपने देश वालों को एक आह्वान किया तो तुरंत ही ऐसे अपन ने बनाना शुरू कर दिया। आज बाहर एक्सपोर्ट करे वो स्थिति हुई। पीपीई किट हर रोज 5 लाख किट बनने लगी। वैसे बहुत सी ऐसी चीज है, अपना वेंटिलेटर, वो भी अहमदाबाद में एक धमन, राजकोट में धमन नाम का, महाराष्ट्र में दूसरे, ऐसे वेंटिलेटर भी जो बाहर से ही आते थे, वो आज चाइना का जो डंपिंग है उसके सामने लड़त करके लघु उद्योग भारती ने भी एक उत्पाद समूह ऐसा करके हर क्षेत्र में क्लस्टर वाइज किस किस जगह किस क्लस्टर से अपन आगे बढ़ सके और किस क्लस्टर को बढ़ावा होना चाहिए। राजकोट का हम उदाहरण देवे तो अहमदाबाद में एक N95 वाला बनाने का मशीन टूल्स आया था, तो वो टूल्स को राजकोट वाले ने देखकर कॉपी की। अहमदाबाद में जो N95 अपना मास्क बनता था वो पर डे 20,000 बनता था, लेकिन राजकोट वाले ने वही कॉपी करके मशीन बनाकर हर रोज का 50,000 पीस N95 का बना है। तो ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी, हुनर, वो सब अपने में है। तो अपना राष्ट्र को उन्नति लाने के लिए सूक्ष्म, लघु और अपने देश के हर उद्यमी बंधु हुनर के साथ करते रहेंगे तो आफत को अवसर में लाकर हम सब आगे जाएंगे। धन्यवाद।
बलदेव जी, आपकी गाइडेंस के लिए और किस तरीके से हमें देश को आगे लेके जाना है और लघु उद्योग की क्या भूमिका हो सकती है, उसके विस्तार से वर्णन के लिए आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। Now we have with us CA Durgesh Buch, the President of the Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry. May I request him to share his thoughts in a brief. Durgesh Bhai.
Thank you, Honorable the President Atul Gupta ji, very respectable the Vice President Shri Nihar ji, respected Central Council members. I see Anuj ji, I see Aniket, I see respected Chairman Lalit Bajaj ji of WIRC. So it's a pleasure to be with Alma Mater after quite a long time. In fact, my case is little different. Up to 2017, so maybe 3 years back, I was a practicing chartered accountant. And today I'm in a different role. So my major chunk of life has been as a practicing chartered accountant. But then those know me in this part of the nation, know me that I was a different practitioner. And probably that's what we need to do in our practice even today. We need to build a team, and so I did build my team. Otherwise, I had no professional background. My father was a government servant, and so I decided to build a team. And then we were, into practice of income tax, but one of the partners was assigned a task to look after income tax, and I looked after the income of the organization. Partner used to be busy with income tax returns. When it was value-added tax, I looked after value addition, and the concerned in-charge partner looked after VAT. When it was service tax, I looked after the services rendered by my organization to our clients, and there was somebody looking after service tax. So this was the fundamental change in the practice model that we could conveniently do and achieve our targets perhaps before time. Especially for the benefit of my young and very dear students, I need to say this, that you have come to the right place, in the right course, right curriculum. Because your future is going to be so bright, believe you me. What you are taught in your article sheet is something which is going to stay with you whole of your life. You are taught to have 360-degree view, and you are taught to analyze each and every situation from all the aspects, from the viewpoint of all stakeholders. and then you independently assess, analyze, and advise your client or put your comments. Good thing is today's major subject is rebooting Indian economy, the way forward. But I reserve my submissions about the way forward maybe for the latter part of the program during the interaction. But I need to compliment entire team under the able leadership of the president that 2020 is certainly the year in which Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has rebooted itself. This is the landmark year, believe you me. I have been watching the administration of this institute for quite a long time. Many respected presidents have done wonderful job. But this year, entire council is working hard to be pro small and medium practices. As nation needs MSMEs in industry segment, in audit segment or compliance segment, we need maximum number of efficient small and medium practices. And that is exactly where the institute is focusing right now. And MSME is the exact place where government of India need to focus. The only point I need to maybe put before all the participants for forming their views is, one is we are into compliance service, but at the same time we are into a part of compliance service which pertains to maybe company law, taxation, and at the most finance. But any business that one would do in India, we have no idea as to how many laws, statutes, and acts are applicable to a business. Some of the acts you come to know only when you default. So this needs to change. And this needs to change immediately. And Institute of Chartered Accountants of India must prepare and submit a white paper in consultation with all leading chambers. Because if we have more number of acts and laws, it is going to be suicidal for industrial growth. And second, we need to deal with as a nation, and it is our humble duty as profession to deal with the corruption menace, which is prevailing in entire nation. We have best of the political will for transparency, for growth, for changing the trajectory, for rebooting the economy. But then we have very low bureaucratic will. And so it results into, at times, harassment, at times non-cooperation, at times lengthening the processes, because at times we see in Gujrat and in other neighboring states, an industrialist acquiring land takes at times 2 to 3 years to get all the clearances to form an industry, to start an industry. Now, this is ridiculous. So we need to change this, and our institute will have to come forward, because we, day in, day out, need deal with all such practices in our representation before the government, in our representation before tax authorities, in our representation before regulators. So we need to bring this point up front, and we need to collectively put our weight behind this single point, which is deterrent to the growth of our profession, growth of nation. So this is my initial observation. I would also like to maybe suggest the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India through this medium that we can prepare a paper on how best chartered accountants can play a meaningful role in regulating the expenditure, budget, and finance of local authorities, state governments, and so the central government. Because I see and I observe in the state of Gujrat that there are maybe 33 collectors, equal number of district development officers, but there is hardly one who is a chartered accountant and is performing wonderfully well. Why can't each district have one district accounts officer who would be a chartered accountant, who would be having 360-degree views, who would be having auditing abilities, who would be having abilities to identify leakages and abilities to plug the leakages? That's the only way to combat with corruption. So we need to focus eventually. Of course, we do excellent reporting services, but that doesn't suffice. We need to move one step beyond our audit reports and we must join hands with government in combating. And let me tell you, since I belong to Gujarat, I know one thing very certainly, that this Prime Minister and this Home Minister, Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Home Minister, we as Gujaratis have known them threadbare. And I tell you, if the Institute takes up the work of combating with corruption, you will have red carpet in highest offices of central government. With this, I once again take this opportunity to tell the students to stick to the guidelines as and when given by the Institute about your articleship, about your options, about the multiple courses that are offered by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And I do not know what I would have been if I would not have been a chartered accountant. I don't see any other possibility. So I am a proud chartered accountant. I will live as a proud chartered accountant, and I'll die as a proud chartered accountant. So with this, I conclude my opening remark here and open the way for meaningful debate on rebooting Indian economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Durgesh Bhai. And I believe that the two suggestions given by yourself on the corruption and the expenditure efficiency and role of chartered accountants, certainly I believe that we have to give a representation to yourself only. You understand what I am trying to convey you, that कि आपने ही फैसला करना है सर, और आप ही हमसे कह रहे हो कि जो है वो रिप्रेजेंटेशन करिए. अनिकेत भाई समझ गए मैं क्या कहना चाह रहा हूँ. सो जो है वो तो आप ही के पास भिजवाना पड़ेगा रिप्रेजेंटेशन सर. दुर्गेश भाई.
हाँ जी सर.
मैं कह रहा हूँ आप ही के पास रिप्रेजेंटेशन भिजवाना पड़ेगा.
अरे so nice of you, sir. It would be my pleasant duty.
Thank you, Durgesh Bhai. And now, friends, thank you very much, Durgesh Bhai, for your kind address to all the colleagues, and specifically the last line that you will be always like a chartered accountant and feel proud to be a chartered accountant, and will the entire life you will be a chartered accountant. Hiranandani ji, sir, we have a few questions for you, but the first question I am asking you on behalf of my council colleague, CA Tarun, he is not able to join. What is your suggestion to reboot Indian economy, and what role chambers are playing in this direction? I am aware that is a big question, but maybe for one or two liners, some one or two points that how we can reboot the Indian economy and what the role chambers can play.
I think 3 quick points.
Over to Niranjan.
The 3 quick points. The first quick point is the liquidity requires to be restored completely. And I think the banking system, NBFCs, the capital markets, and all these definitely need a push up, and the RBI needs to be approached in order to do a one-time rollover, in order to see that the liquidity of the existing borrowers, as well as the issues in terms of additional liquidity, should be given as early as possible. All countries in the world, this is happening, and it's absolutely imperative that the liquidity issue should be done first to reboot the economy. Second, those industries which are having a huge setback, like we talked about hospitality, hotels, aviation, others, MSMEs to a certain extent who have not been able to take off their businesses even today because those businesses have not been able to open, and there are many of them which are now opening recently, including restaurants, small restaurants, big restaurants. They just don't have any business, zero. I think a special dispensation needs to come from the government for the purposes of seeing that their issues in terms have been done. Number three, I think the taxation needs to be relooked at. GST, I think, is a driver of demand. I think we need a 50% GST cut in order to see that at least demand is revived in the short run. Anyway, the GST collections have been dropped to about 25% of the amount. It's less than 25,000 crores. So if by doing a cut today, there's not going to be any big loss to the exchequer as of now. It will be only a paper loss. So I think if we make these three suggestions on behalf of the institute, I think we would be able to reboot the economy very quickly. And the last, of course, from the industrial perspective, I think we need to get it back and moving as quickly as possible. So many industries have been able to start. Real estate is in bad shape, and lots of people and support required to be coming to restore this part of it, especially when labor is not available. So whatever other resources can be done to do it. But I think if we address the first three, the secondary markets will automatically grow.
We have with us Anuj Goyalji. Anuj Goyalji, you have a question. Anuj Goyalji. Anuj Goyalji.
Very good evening, friends. My question is from CA Dr. D.K. Agarwal, President, PhD Chamber. Sir, in the process of attracting investment in India, what role Indian Chartered Accountants can play jointly with your chamber?
Yeah. Am I audible? Right. First of all, I would like to say that there's a huge opportunity for FDI, for getting FDI into India, particularly after this COVID-19. There has been a realization by number of countries and by number of companies, and there is kind of a disillusion from China. So a lot of companies would like to shift their manufacturing capacities from China to any other place. And that gives India a huge opportunity to get these companies. There are more than 300 companies who are looking to shift their manufacturing capacities. So even if India can attract 50 companies out of these 300 companies, because these are the companies who are employing thousands and lakhs of the people, and they create a huge ecosystem, and that would support number of MSME enterprises also. Because the kind of ecosystem which they would create, a lot of ancillary unit will automatically come up. So getting these companies in India is a huge challenge, considering that we have to offer one window service with time-bound clearances. And our enforceability of contract is still a challenge. The commercial disputes which get settled, they take a lot of time. So I think a huge amount of efforts are required to do these legal reforms, to do labor reform, flexible labor laws, to do land reforms. And the most important thing is the one window service, basically laying out the red carpet in place of red tape. So I think there's a huge opportunity. And my sense is that India is doing all that. Our government is very committed. And the fact that now we are talking of Atmanirbhar Abhiyan, making India a self-reliant. So there is a concerted effort by the government to make India as a manufacturing hub, to create local supply, to make it very strong. And as Laghu Bharati President said, vocal about local and then go global. So I think first we have to strengthen our local supply chain, and then we have to integrate it with the global supply chain. So to do that, we have to get these companies in India, and a lot of FDI can come to India. As a PhD Chamber of Commerce, I would like to tell you that we have 6 international committees on America, committees on Gulf countries, committees on Europe and CIS countries, committees on Africa, and committees on ASEAN countries. So covering almost all the countries of the world. So through these 6 these committees, in last 3 months, I would like to tell you, we have held 25 such interactions with the foreign missions in India and Indian missions in abroad. So we have got together these 2 missions, one in India and the other of the same country, Indian mission there. And we had interactions with industry, with a lot of participants, and these have been very fruitful. And I would also like to tell you that we have membership under the professional category, where a lot of chartered accountants are our members. And I can say with confidence that chartered accountants are somebody who can ensure that when these companies who want to come to India, they would want to understand the legal structure, the taxation issues. They would understand the compliance issues. They would want to, and if they want to have a joint venture, they would like to understand, they would like to do the due diligence of the parties with which they are doing joint venture. So there are huge amount of work which is to be done when these companies are bringing foreign direct investment into the country, and chartered accountant would have a huge role to play. And I'm sure that, of course, I would invite a lot of chartered accountants to become part of PhD Chamber of Commerce and take advantage of that. In fact, I would like to say that we have a trade and investment facilitation center, which only caters to the international trade and investment into the country. We have also tied up with Invest India, which is a public-private partnership entity, which ensures that FDIs flows into the country. They route all their, whatever queries are coming to them, they send these queries to PhD Chamber of Commerce also. So all those queries coming to us can be passed on to the chartered accountants, and they can act as a link. Similarly, a lot of state governments, they have also become very active. In fact, with the UP government, we have set up a help desk which says invest in UP help desk. Similarly, even in with Punjab government, we are talking to set up a help desk. And whatever business is coming, whatever inquiries are coming, we can pass on these inquiries to these chartered accountants, and chartered accountants can be a link, can be an instrument, and they can make sure that these FDIs, these investors, they can happily invest in India without worrying about taxation aspect, without worrying about compliances. So they can take all those work. So I'm sure that we as a chamber, along with the chartered accountants, can work. A great amount of work can be done towards that direction.
Thank you, Agarwal sir. And I just wish to share with you that recently even the council approved to create a web portal where all these FDI companies can see that what kind of experience from in which area is available. So that will be, I believe, a new milestone in the history of the ICI, that ICI will be supporting the small and medium practitioner in a big way. Now we have with us MP Vijay Kumar ji, who is from the city of Chennai, to ask a question to Baldev ji.
Thank you, President. Baldev ji, namaskar. Your thoughts on MSME were extremely insightful. In fact, it gave a lot of confidence about the various initiatives of the government for the MSME sector. Much as I would like to converse to you in Hindi, we have audience from all over the country. So I'm taking the liberty of speaking to you in English.
Yeah.
I just require insights from you. In India, the contribution of MSME to the GDP is about 29%, 29%, hai. Whereas in Europe, ASEAN and many other countries, the contribution of the MSME to the GDP is substantially higher. What, in your view, are the reasons for this 29%, and what steps need to be taken for increasing the contribution of MSME to the overall GDP?
Actually, in our company, in our country, many of the very small enterprise are not recognized at all, and their contribution to economy is not visible because most of their transactions are outside bank and in cash. Example, that's a pani puri, fast food counter, a small garage, most of any other very small enterprise are not recognized. So while in other country the system of card is more adopted than cash. If it is recognized, then the percentage may be 50 to 55%, not a 29%. Trading concept grew more than manufacturing. Many people imports and retails the item, hence GDP decrease. There is no encourage, there is no concrete government policy implemented vastly with encourages MSME. The value of real estate required to set up micro and small enterprise go beyond the affordable level. Government should encourage
सर आपका माइक म्यूट में है सर. बलदेव जी आपका माइक म्यूट में है सर.
Sorry. Hello. When it is in mute in our country.
10 seconds, sir. Last 10 seconds.
Okay, last 10 seconds. There is no concrete government policy implemented vastly with encourages MSME. The value of real estate required to set up micro and small enterprise go beyond the affordable level. Government should encourage the decentralization and spread of industries in rural and semi-urban areas. Villages should be encouraged to be self-sufficient in most of the area of daily requirement. MSME employs those people who are otherwise employable and train them to their requirement. Thus, MSME is biggest skill development academy. Labor laws are tighter than other countries. MSME clusters and group marketing to be encouraged by government. As an example, Rajkot city, there is a ISER body parts are manufacturer is many industries, small industries. Government should encourage formation of trade association in which centralized marketing, export and research is undertaken to help the MSME. So growth increase to 29 to very high.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Baldev Bhai. I would now like to request and ask this question to Durgesh Bhai Buch, who's the president of Gujrat Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Sir, you're coming from a state which has been a very buoyant state. We've had the privilege of having an industrial tag attached to Gujarat probably since its inception. And today our audience is from across the country, sir. They are coming and viewing it from all parts of the country, not just chartered accountants, people pursuing chartered accountancy, but industrialists and other decision makers are also here. So, sir, what guidance would you like to give other states for industrial development and how they could also become a manufacturing hub? More so because of the points Baldev Bhai has shared, that how a big industry coming and then the ancillary unit setting across, just gives boost to the economy. There are so many MSMEs that develop and also creates professional opportunity.
On a lighter note, let me tell this. It's not good to be a manufacturing state, especially from the viewpoint of the state that is entitled to receive contribution on GST, because GST goes to consumer state. And the manufacturing state is always at a loss. But having said so, it is proud to be a manufacturing state. And so each state should be a manufacturing state. And for that, I would advise first the individuals domiciled in a given state to please expand their risk appetite. See, what is conventionally unique in Gujarat is that Gujaratis have been conventional businessmen. Their risk appetite has always been higher. Other states face the issue of risk appetite, the mindset issue. So there has to be somebody in the state who would lead the crusade and teach people to be having risk appetite. And then strong political will supported by strong commitment from bureaucracy. Let me again say this. Anywhere, bureaucracy is the biggest hurdle ever, even in the state of Gujarat. Bureaucracy has always proven to be a hurdle because they interpret business, the best way to do business is just start doing business. That is the best way. You can't have, plans in place. That psychological processes you have to leave to the professionals. But businessmen has to focus on core business activities. As far as other states are concerned, see, Gujarat could achieve because right from ancient days, we had a business culture, and thereafter, Chief Minister after Chief Minister focused on bringing industrialization to the state by inviting people from across the world. And each state has now started, maybe more or less, working in this direction. Even the vibrant summits, which are intended to invite global attention and foreign direct investment, are going on since more than, it started in 2003. So it is almost 17 years now. So what you need to do is establish a strong connect between potential investor and offer them ease of doing business, ease of entry. That is the first thing. I would like to specially mention the episode of how Tata Nano came to Gujarat. When they had issues with West Bengal, one short, one-word SMS from then Chief Minister and now Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Ratan Tata was Suswagatam. That's it. And that brought Tata into Gujarat. So government's strong intention, backed by bureaucratic help, would do the purpose. Otherwise, there is no dearth of ideas. Each state has its own potential. South has different type of business potential. North has different type of business potential. Coastal regions have different type of business potential. The mountain region have different potential. We need to explore this potential, and this is where chartered accountants can come into and play a vital role. Identifying opportunities. So if branch is advised to make a paper on which are the potential businesses that can develop in their vicinity in next 10, 15, 20, 25 years. Let that be chartered accountants who are into project advisory services participate in this initiative. Let research foundation like Accounting Research Foundation scope needs to be enlarged now. From accounting to we need to be Business Process Research Foundation, or we can have a separate setup for that. Because we will have to, play additional role than an advisor or a compliance consultant. We need to be a business consultant now, and that is what we are being looked at generally by the industry, by the globe. So, issue is take into account the local potential, take the best advantage of it, take proper advice. Bottom line is have risk appetite. If you have risk appetite, and then if you have required capital or resource raising capacity, business is a bingo. You can just start doing business and you are on the right track, because end of the day, every individual inside them have one Ratan Tata or Dhirubhai Ambani. The moment you get into business, you will start realizing the intricacies of business and you will be on your way to growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Durgesh. And now I have a question on behalf of my council colleague from Niranjan Hiranandani. Sir, in the process of attracting investment in India, what role the Indian chartered accountants located overseas? Because you are aware that we have more than 40,000 chartered accountants who are located overseas and holding the very senior position. Even this question is there by the D.K. Agarwal Saab in the previously. That what role the chartered accountants located overseas can play jointly with the chambers, specifically, for example, the ASSOCHAM, because you are also present in the many countries. So, what role we can play this colleagues overseas to attract the investment in India?
I think there is a dual capacity with which a chartered accountant could represent. The first of all is the financial advice that you can possibly give. We are today the lowest taxed corporate entity. The corporate entity is the lowest taxed in the entire world. 17% is the corporate rate of tax. And I don't think there is any other country which has a lower rate of taxation that may be there. So I think as a chartered accountant, you would be the right person, or we would be the right person in order to be able to communicate this. Number two, we need to associate with the point of contacts in our country. For instance, let's take different states. ASSOCHAM and I'm sure PhD, we are in touch with all the state governments, industries department heads, and including the ministers. So if, for example, somebody would like to deal with Maharashtra or UP or Gujrat, if the chartered accountant is aware, you can contact us in ASSOCHAM or PhD chamber, and we would be able to put you across to the government where a single point contact would be able to do. Just like it was now mentioned about how JRD Tata and Ratan Tata got it done in Gujarat. Similarly, there would be an opportunity. So a duality is there. One, that an individual chartered accountant could advise a person correctly in terms of it. And the second, to use the chambers of commerce as a linkage in order to get the second facilities created for those industry and businesses in the country.
Niranjan, the question was a little bit, again, I just slightly changed the question. I'm saying that because the ASSOCHAM or the PhD chamber have the presence overseas, for example, in Netherlands or somewhere. So how the Netherlands chapter of ICI with the Netherlands chapter of ASSOCHAM can collaborate to develop the synergy that they can all together they can work to bring the investment in India.
Yes. So the individual situation is the external chambers which are there located in each country where we have an association or contact, they become the point of contact for the purposes of those chartered accountants who can contact those chamber representatives which are there who are in charge of those chambers. But in turn, those chambers would be in touch with the head office. So there is two alternatives. either the point of reference could be the person or point of person in that country, or I think today the central office is far better equipped to give advice in these circumstances, because the external chambers again would refer over here. So I think there are possibility of getting this done in India would be much better with the chartered accountants. Today with email, Zoom and other connectivity is hardly a point of problem to get into connectivity to do, because the effectiveness of this connectivity would be very, very quick and fast. But the representative may be the first point of contact which will be able to give it to us.
Thank you. We have with us the chairman of the WIRC, Shri Lalit Bajaj. You have one question from
Yes,
Agarwal.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I am putting forth a question to CA DK Agarwal ji. In COVID pandemic, what is the timeline you see for revival of industry and specifically the banking and financial sector?
Thank you for asking this question. In fact, how this COVID will play out, nobody knows. There is speculation that it may take a year, because ultimate solution lies in inventing the vaccine. So how much time, by what time we will have this vaccine, nobody knows. But after almost 3 months of this pandemic breakout in India, out of that experience now, the feeling is that we can live with this COVID-19, and rather we will have to live with this COVID-19. There's no other option. Economy cannot wait. So right now, what would be more important is how this pandemic COVID-19 plays out in terms of severity of the problem, in terms of the spread. And second thing is whether there is going to be a second wave or third wave once this phenomena recedes. So these are the questions to be, answered, which right now nobody would have that answer. Having said all this, what I believe that, as I said, we have to live with this COVID-19 situation. So we have to make sure that people come out of their home, the manufacturing activity that gets started in full, and people start spending money. Right now, accepting the essentials, the discretionary spending has almost come to a halt. So to give that confidence to the people, if we can make sure that if somebody catches, unfortunately, let us say somebody catches COVID-19 infection, if he has this assurance that I would have the best of the medical facilities available and I would be taken care of. If we can have that kind of a health infrastructure, then I think the hitch or the psychological fear people are having will not be there. And then we can live with COVID-19 and we can do the business in the normal way. People would come and attend offices. People would come and attend their factories. They would do the job in the normal course of business. The government is doing a lot of things to combat the negative impact of COVID-19. We have seen a 20.97 lakh crore worth of package, which is one of the largest packages being declared by various countries. It is 10% of the GDP. My sense is it is not the declaration of the package, it is the implementation. So I will say the key lies in the implementation. How fast you implement, how speedily you implement, and to implement in toto. The government has talked of a lot of reforms, the labor reform, the legal reforms, the liquidity infusion, making India self-reliant. So whatever the government has talked, if these measures are implemented, if liquidity is infused in the businesses, if 3 lakh crore collateral-free limit, automatic limit is being given, it is being actually disbursed to the industry. If the 30,000 credit which is being talked about in the package is given to the NBFC sector, to the NBFCs which are not of AAA rated or AA rated. If funding is given to these NBFCs, if funding is given to the MSME sector, the COVID funding of 10% increase in the working capital limit, if that is being disbursed, I think there is a very strong chance that Indian economy will recover substantially. There was a SNAP survey which was being done by one of the apex chamber very recently, and that survey says 45% of the CEOs believes that it will take more than a year for the recovery. 35% say it will take 6 months to 1 year for the recovery to happen, for the complete recovery. I mean, back to the COVID-19 levels, capacity utilization back to that level. And 20% says it will take less than 6 months. So right now it is pure guess, but I can say one thing with confidence. If implementation is done in the spirit, I am sure. And another thing, boosting the demand. And with this 20.97 lakh crore package, we have taken care of the supply side. But it is not enough. You have to also take care of the demand side. Unless until the demand is there, even if I manufacture the goods, if it is there is no demand, ultimately I will not be utilizing my capacity. So we have to take care of the demand side, and that too the government can do that as of now. They have to spend whatever spend they have reserved for the entire year, entire financial year. Maybe they have to front load that spend in the first half of the year. There is an immediate need. There is an immediate need to spend on infrastructure so that the demand gets boosted. So all these measures the government is taking, and I am very confident that the way the government is proactive, the recovery should happen by maybe within a year. This is what I would like to guess as a positive person. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. मेरा अगला सवाल बलदेव भाई से है. सर, आपने ने बात सुनी जॉब्स की, एम्प्लॉयमेंट की, थोड़ा और भी बातें कई लोगों ने कि कब तक रिकवरी होगी. तो सर, आपके हिसाब से सरकार किस तरह से स्किल डेवलपमेंट को बल दे सकती है जिससे यूथ की एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी बढ़े, इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन बढ़े, और हमारे देश को जो जीडीपी की हम बात कर रहे हैं, दैट गिव्स अ बिग राइज, जब इस यूथ को हम स्किल डेवलपमेंट दे पाएंगे. सर,
नमस्ते. एक्चुअली मैंने पहले ही बोला कि एमएसएमई वो एक बिगेस्ट स्किल डेवलपमेंट सेंटर एकेडमी है. उसके थ्रू ही हम सब जानते हैं कि अनस्किल्ड वर्कर कंपनी में आता है और स्किल्ड बनाकर एमएसएमई कंपनी से निकलता है. दूसरा, ग्रामीण और अर्ध शहरी में सेटअप करने के लिए अधिक व्यावहारिक कौशल विकास केंद्र की जरूरत है. स्कूल के पाठ्यक्रम में विभिन्न कौशल विकास के शामिल किया जाना चाहिए और अधिक प्रैक्टिकल दिए जाने चाहिए और ऑन हैंड पाठ्यक्रम को बढ़ा जाना चाहिए, जैसे कि कारपेंटर, स्मिथी, लुहार जो है उसके लिए कुछ नहीं रहता है. शायद आईटीआई में है ऐसे कार्यक्रम, वो ऐसे है स्टडी, लेकिन कॉलेज और स्कूल में जो पहले से पढ़ाना चाहिए वो अपने पास नहीं है. एम्प्लॉयमेंट जो है उसको स्वरोजगार पर जोर देना चाहिए. सेमी उद्यमियों को स्थापित करने के में मदद करने के लिए ग्रामीण और अर्ध शहरी क्षेत्रों में अधिक पर्याप्त सूचना प्रसार केंद्र और सहायता केंद्र होने चाहिए. वैसे डीआईसी है, उसके जैसे सेंटर होने से बहुत सी जगह ये कौशल विकास हो सकता है. थैंक यू.
Durgesh I have a small question. Maybe it's a little out of context now, given the impact on the hospitality and tourism sector. But if you recall the last couple of days, Dubai in particular, which is a hub of tourism, have started making lots of announcements and initiatives around inviting tourism. And we all know that we'll all get back to normal in the coming. So in this backdrop, are Swachhata and tourism directly linked to FDI into India? And what kind of boost in the state of Gujrat economy have you found in the recent past because of this linkage? I'm sure that experience will be useful when we get back to normalcy and try to rebuild the tourism sector. Request your thoughts on this.
Okay, but before I properly reply the question, I wanted to make a couple of suggestions, President Sir, if you so permit. Okay, my first suggestion is, if possible, take a decision today or maybe process it in the next council meeting and approve all state and national level Chamber of Commerce's as approved body for industrial training for articled assistants across India. And I have a logic, because all these chambers have been doing wonderful sectorial business research work and representation. So if our articled assistants get involved with Chamber of Commerce as a part of their industrial training, their outlook, their vision, their abilities, their skills, everything would change. So this is just a suggestion and a request. Second thing I wanted to maybe address or add to what Baldev ji should have said, or maybe we are in 2020. I look at the development in mobile technology. Look at the SIM card, which earlier used to be quite big, became small and then became micro and then became nano. Industry still needs a classification called nano, which most of the time falls into subprime or semi-subprime sector. So that needs are not addressed by banking or financial institutions. And from that is where the negative cycle or the parallel economy start. So this needs to be looked into, maybe studied in detail, maybe some research need to go inside, and then a call to be taken to address the issue of those who are at the bottom. MSME is so wide a terminology, and it includes, units beyond certain level. As Baldev ji said, 29% is the reported figure, and if let us assume 60% is actual number according to him, or the realistic number, then that 30% is nano category, which is not accounted for or which is escaping the nets. And so the estimation proves to be wrong. Having said so, now coming to the proper question on Swachhta. Swachhta is always good. Wherever you keep, whatever possible Swachh, it is always a wonderful thing to live with. We like our home clean and tidy. So we like our infrastructure, our roads, our utilities, our neighborhood, our society, our, whatever, wherever we need to go, our tourist spots, our places of worship, our monuments of culture and history. Everything has to be neat and tidy in order to make them inviting others. Then you feel like going there. International tourism and FDI are both separate things. FDI largely is dependent on potential to earn profit. It's a profit-driven proposition. Swachhta is not directly connected or interwoven. It can be a helping or handholding for certain segment, but profit is the core driving thing for foreign direct investment, and the state or the businesses or the governments or the political will or the people have to offer them profit. That's the only thing which bring them to your country or our country for that matter. Having said so, Gujarat has been fairly successful in inviting foreign direct investment. But then there are some drawbacks also, because FDI requires Swachhta, they like it. They don't require it, they would love it. But it's not a requirement. But international class of social infrastructure is a requirement. There must be 24 hours international cuisine, food availability if you want foreign direct investment or foreigners to come and make their products in India. In cities, you might get some food late night. There are some joints. There are some joints who serve multi-cuisine food. But in other parts of the nation, you really don't get it. And that is one of the hindrances. For example, in Gujarat, we have prohibition. And so some investors do maybe insist before the government also that, hey, we are in 2020 and you have to be liberal. So this is one way. Of course, that is not the motivating factor. End of the day, motivating factor is profit. So till the time we can offer them return on investment, which is better than our competitor nation, investment would come, whatever be your level of Swachhta, whatever be your level of other benchmarks or parameters. So this is one. Gujarat has immensely benefited by creating special windows for them. See, when Vibrant series started, there was a single window being offered to investment coming in the state, be it from other states or be it from foreign. But there was a red carpet given. You were getting clearances maybe within days and not more than a month. So that, brought the change. Thereafter, some people had excellent experience, some people had bad experience of bureaucracy, but business doesn't matter. Business finds its way through hurdles. There are bound to be stepping stones, and there are bound to be stopping stones also. But a prudent business would always know which are the stepping stones, which are the stones to be avoided, or they take advantage of the menace that I earlier represented about harassment, corruption in bureaucratic system, and then they get away with their work done through other means. So business really means driving a strong desire and converting it into profits which can be carried back home or maybe put to other use of development or expansion at the local level. Yeah, that's what I would want to say with respect to FDI investment coming to India. But having said so, I would also want to say something because I know this is my last chance. And I've been seeing messages running around about closing the program. So this is with respect to Atmanirbhar mission that government has announced and the import substitution. that we need to work on. Everyone needs to work on. See, there was a call from one national level organization to boycott Chinese goods. Hey, we are in 2020. Come on, we cannot boycott Chinese goods. I come from Gujrat, where pharmaceutical and chemical industries are predominant. There's 60% raw material comes from China. Many of the technologies in electronics, in IT-enabled services, that's hardware, their software, their applications, they do come from China. We can't blanketly ban them. So we will have to be sensible and we will have to promote Atmanirbhar, and thereby we will have to work on import substitution. Now, this is the place where government has to take larger initiative. See, government is on disinvestment path. They had Navratnas, they had some very good units, building good brand and valuation for their businesses. And now government is disinvesting and creating fund out of that. But I think of maybe 2050, wherein government would need some more such Navratnas to disinvest. So government will have to pump in money in the projects. For example, chemical. We can compete with China. There is no dearth of ability to compete. Issue is the cost. Like, compare the cost of power with that is available in China, the cost of land that is available in China. If Chinese government is adopting a cluster-based approach, wherein certain polluting industries are given a cluster where government sets up centralized effluent treatment plant and then invites industry, offers them free land for, or maybe a moratorium for maybe 10 years or 20 years, and then the repayment for the cost of land would start. Give them cheap power. We have the costliest power in the world. Look at the prices of diesel, what is happening to diesel for the last fortnight now. Industry, can industry absorb this shock or this cost? Answer maybe yes, because every industry has then accumulated saving out of the past profits. But can it survive in the longer run, or can it compete and really substitute the import? Answer is big no. So we will have to work in import substitution. We will have to tell our government to heavily invest into, projects where we have shortcoming. As an individual entrepreneur who would be profit-driven may not want to get into these businesses, and so government is duty-bound, maybe in public-private model or maybe in some sort of other mechanism, but we need to work on this. So this is what I wanted to say, and thank you very much, sir.
Really appreciate. Anandji? Yeah, I think the last question of the day from Hiranandani ji. In COVID pandemic, what is the timeline you see for a revival of industry, specifically the real estate sector? Thank you.
I think it's $1 billion question, and very few people have the answer to that in real terms. The first part of it is that entire revival will depend if a vaccine comes, but that doesn't look like it's going to come in the year 2020. So I do believe that the revival of real estate will take another 6 months to actually take off. But the reality is that there are green shoots in terms of revival, and we are already seeing it happen. So demand creation has already taken place. People are already started buying. But of course, the volume of the sale has not yet picked up because the confidence level in the overall situation is actually slow. So I do think post Diwali, you will see a revival start. And that is the time where you will be able to do it. Of course, if a vaccine comes by then of course the full revival will take place immediately. But my view is that from Diwali to January, February, the revival phase of the real estate market will take place. In the meantime, there is an advantage that a large number of projects have started functioning already. So for example, but for the migrant labor issues, many of the projects are online. So I would say about 25% of the total labor force is already operational. And I think this is a good sign that is there. This labor will take another 30 to 45 to 60 days to resume. So I think work-wise, if you ask me, I think by 15th August, the work will be resumed and the demand by Dussehra Diwali will come back into the situation that is there.
There is a question, Lalit ji, maybe a quick question. एक जल्दी से क्वेश्चन बलदेव जी से और एक छोटा सा आंसर बलदेव जी और उसके बाद मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा ऑनरेबल वाइस प्रेसिडेंट को कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क्स देने के लिए।
हाँ बलदेव जी, देश को आगे बढ़ने के लिए एक सशक्त वर्कफोर्स और प्रोडक्शन में बहुत सारी ग्रोथ लगेगी। अब जब हम हमारी वर्कफोर्स को देखते हैं तो हमारी जो वुमेन पार्टिसिपेशन है वर्कफोर्स में वो करीब 23% है। तो आपका ओपिनियन इसमें ये देख रहे हैं हम कि ये जो वुमेन पार्टिसिपेशन है उसको इंक्रीज करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट और एमएसएमई क्या स्टेप्स ले रही है या क्या स्टेप्स लेना चाहिए?
हाँ जी, वैसे अपने देश में सामाजिक एक मानसिकता महिलाओं के लिए घरेलू निर्माता ही माना जाता है और कहीं विशेषाधिकार प्राप्त महिलाओं जो सामाजिक सेवाओं में मीन्स एनजीओ वगैरह में है उसको औपचारिक रीत से नियोजित नहीं किया जाता, वर्किंग नहीं गिना जाता है, इसलिए शायद ये 23% गिना जाता होगा। दूसरा, बालक प्रसव कर मीन्स एक उसको चाइल्ड जब पैदा होता है, उसका लड़का होता है लड़की होती है, तो उस अधिकांश महिलाओं को फिर से रोजगार वापस जाने के लिए घर में से मना कर दिया जाता है। लेकिन सामाजिक स्थिति बदल रही है और भविष्य में आने वाले वर्षों में वो परसेंटेज बढ़ने की संभावना है, क्योंकि अभी बहुत सी महिलाओं आगे आ रही है। कई महिलाओं आजकल इंडस्ट्रीज भी चला रही है, जैसे बायर है, मैसी फर्ग्यूसन, ल्यूपिन, संजन इंडिया, ऐसी बहुत सी कंपनी का जो चलाने वाले वो एक महिलाएं है। बायोकॉन जैसी कंपनी को तो शुरुआत करके उसका एक महिला ने एक बड़ी कंपनी बनाना वो बड़ा एग्जाम्पल भी है। सरकार में वैसे तो बहुत सी योजनाएं हैं वुमन एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए, लेकिन उनका जो इम्प्लीमेंट होना चाहिए वो ज्यादा रूप से नहीं होता है। एमएसएमई में महिला काफी मदद रूप होती है क्योंकि मल्टीटास्किंग होती है। वो सरकार ने भी बहुत सी ऐसी स्कीम, जैसे लैंड परचेज करना है तो उसको अलग रेट से, लोन लेनी है तो अलग रेट, वैसे बहुत सी स्कीम है। और हमने लघु उद्योग भारती में भी ऐसी महिला इकाइयां बनाई है, तो बहुत सी जगह 50-50 मेंबर बनी है जो इंडस्ट्रीज खुद चलाने वाली महिला। और आजकल घरेलू आइटम भी बहुत महिलाएं बनाती है, तो एटमॉस्फेयर बदल रहा है। बहुत सी महिलाएं आज फॉरेन की तरह, वहां तो क्या है हस्बैंड ही जाता था, मिसेस को भी ले जाते, वैसा ही आज अपने देश में भी पहले एक कमाता था सब खाते थे, वैसा नहीं रहा है। अभी महिलाओं भी काम में लगने लगी है, तो ये स्थिति बदल जाएगी, परसेंटेज बदल जाएगा। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Baldev ji, for your guidance, and thanks to all the panelists, CA D.K. Aggarwal Sahab, Niranjan, Hiranandani, Baldev, and Durgesh ji. Now I request the Honorable Vice President ICI to offer the concluding remarks as well as convey our heartful gratitude to all the panelists for sparing their valuable time. Over to Honorable Vice President ICI, Niranjan.
Thank you, President sir. An excellent session. I think there cannot be better way of celebrating CA Foundation Day than holding discussions on topics like this. very rightly put. And what we see from discussions is that chartered accountants have to emerge as total business solution provider, and to the government, even solution provider for rebooting the economy. The manner in which this discussion went on, I think it has given a lot of inputs, and if I mention a few, amidst uncertainty which is still prevailing, I think we cannot wait for everything to open up or vaccine to be found. We will have to plan now and go on adjusting if these lockdowns get extended. There is a news that in Maharashtra there is further extension of lockdown, but this will keep happening as many of the panelists very rightly mentioned that we will have to live with this pandemic till the time vaccine or medicine is found. Now, if I deal with some of the concluding remarks emerging out of discussions, then it was very rightly put that certain sectors like real estate, restaurants, where public gathering will not be allowed for longer time. They may take little longer time to come back to situation. There was discussion on encouraging investments and encouraging consumption. Both are equally important because without consumption, even investments will not fetch results. Two solutions which were provided by Hiranandani ji. One, that corporate refunds which are held back by the government should be immediately released. This step would to some extent help in further investment. At the same time, another suggestion was to cut the rate of GST. This would directly help in boosting consumption because the impact of GST is on consumer directly. But apart from this, these are two minor steps. There are many further steps which are required to be taken. And Durgesh Bhai, in the end, very aptly mentioned that if petrol, diesel prices go on increasing like this, whether industry and businesses will be able to afford. Immediately they may, but what will be the cost of products that they will be selling in the market? So there will be direct impact on inflation, on the prices which will rise. And particularly during pandemic, when there is pessimistic attitude on consumption, to boost it, I think these prices will need to be controlled by the government. On foreign investments and particularly on discussions on how to bring those companies exiting from China to India, I think certain points are very clear, like ease of doing will have to be further increased. Labor laws will have to be simplified. State and central government coordination in terms of setting up industrial zones will have to be increased. There should be more clarity on tax laws. Single window clearance should effectively work and should be effectively implemented. So all these steps put together would certainly help bringing some investments in India. Of course, there are many other factors which are relevant. Durgesh Bhai rightly put that every state has its unique advantage. Yesterday itself, we had a webinar with Chhattisgarh, and we noticed that forest and herbal products are the main business line in that state. So it is not that manufacturing would be the only option available to all states. Depending on what is available more in the state, the states will have to take advantage in the Atmanirbhar efforts. Every line of business will be relevant. DK Agarwal ji rightly put, he said along with Hiranandani ji, that all these chambers are prepared to join hands with the institute, and whether in states or abroad, wherever we can establish connectivity with the expertise of chartered accountants, we can put all suggestions to governments more effectively. In the last session and this session, I think every panelist focused on eradication of corruption and honesty. It is very clear that in the world where big corporates are not allowed to adopt any corrupt practices, India will have to fall in line, and we will have to ensure that here corruption goes down to such an extent that it is not felt. Baldev ji rightly put that there are many businesses which are in unorganized sector, and they form part of parallel economy. They don't come on record. So MSME's share in GDP, which is reported at 29%, is effectively at more than 50%. But then the government must make efforts with its tax departments to bring this unorganized sector in the mainstream, and they shift from parallel economy to the mainstream. Then these sectors will do better business. I'm not noted it, but I think Baldev ji put it this way, that there should be skill development of workers, for which even from foreign chapter, one chapter had suggested that vocational training in the country should be promoted, so that people get training in the jobs that they have to perform, and many of the unskilled workers get converted into skilled workers. There are many other suggestions, but by and large, I thought in the limited time that we have, I will try to sum up. And all these suggestions the Institute will take in the right stride, put right kind of workforce behind it, and we will see that you and the Institute collectively make representations to the government, and we make the maximum out of it. After all, the different chambers' objective and Institute's objective today is to strengthen our economy, strengthen our country, and collectively grow. And chartered accountants have always grown with the progress of clients, businesses, industry, and with the country. We have not grown out of anybody's disadvantages. So we are here to promote all these causes, and let us work sincerely and have constructive efforts put in to achieve these goals. And in that sense, today's entire panel discussion was very fruitful. I'm sure Aniket, our council colleague, is informing that there are 22,000 participants at this webinar. So the message is taken by our members very well, and it will spread through them among other members who could not join today in this webinar. Thank you so much. I must thank each and every panelist, Niranjan Hiranandani ji, who had to left because of his other commitment in absentia, Dr. DK Agarwal ji for joining and contributing so well, Durgesh, Buch ji, all your offers for help are very helpful to the Institute. You are already part of the Institute in the sense that you were part of regional council earlier and will not be hesitated in contacting you. Baldev Bhai, for all offers for help that you have done. We are thankful to all the panelists for sparing their time and giving valuable suggestions today. Thank you so much. And
thank you, sir. Thank you, Agarwal sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Durgesh bhai.
Thank you.
Thank you, Baldev ji. Thank you, Lalit ji.
Thank you.
Lalit ji, thank you.
Thank you.